Massey on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. 203. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. How's your boys' weekend?
Oh, it's good. Great. It was good. Took in the Cards game on Saturday.
Okay, so maybe not great for you.
Yeah. Great. It was interesting. We went to the ball game and played a terrible team, the Rockies. And
Yeah. Came away with a dub.
No.
Oh.
It was a big L. We went there for Reed's birthday.
That's right.
Remember? Take me to a Cardinals game. Yeah.
Take me to Wally's World, Dad.
So what ended up happening is after watching what I watched, we stopped at the merch following the game. Reed looked at me. He says, "Can I get a hat for my birthday?" And I said, "You know what, Reed? Why don't you buy 4 of them so we can get a damn pitcher? So DeWitts can take this money and use it."
I don't know if it works that way, but I love the passion.
It's an effort, Anthony.
I love the passion. You're doing your part.
Yeah.
Weekend was okay. I went to the Cardinals game Friday, which they did win. Went to the Battlehawks game on Sunday, which they didn't win. So, yeah, 1 for 1 on the weekend.
Yeah, we'll get into
Not
the
good.
Battlehawks.
Not a good weekend, though,
No.
in general.
I had a great weekend.
What'd you do?
You didn't go anywhere downtown.
You sat in the house.
That's
and
not
relaxed.
true.
Oh.
You went to a bar.
I did go to a bar.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't watch any Cardinal game, didn't go to a Cardinal game.
Yeah.
But
Lucky
I had a
guy.
great time.
You say lucky guy?
What?
Good for you, man.
I felt like I kind of had like a neutral time.
What? Kind of a
Yeah.
2 and 2?
No, it's
Even?
fine.
Just fine.
like a
Weekend was
draw.
just fine?
Like a draw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your weekend
Draws.
or just the games?
No, the weekend.
Oh.
I went to the City game.
Oh.
You did?
Did
No.
they win?
Oh.
No, but I wanted to use the draw joke.
Yeah,
So it hadn't been played
should have
yet.
just
Hey, they
Staltered
didn't
the hell
win,
out
they
of
didn't
it.
lose.
They didn't. There you go.
Say,
Say
did
it
you
again,
enjoy
Marcy.
yourself? Blah, blah, blah. Nah.
It's gotten to the point now where Roman Berkey is even like, "I'm frustrated."
Well,
Yeah.
The guy puts
You
up
should be.
a...
Marshy had a very valid point.
He did?
They didn't win. They did not lose.
Very true. Hard to get your heart broken that way, you know?
Yeah. Kind of same
Now,
with
you
the
won't,
Cardinals.
you won't
They
have any
won 2 and
enjoyment
lost 2.
either, but
I wonder how the players feel when it's a 0-0 draw. Do you feel like, why do we even play this?
if they're not frustrated as hell, I don't want them on my club.
Are you first? You want them to be mad?
Yes.
They didn't lose, Anthony.
I want them to feel like a draw is a loss so that maybe next time they do the things
But-
to win the damn game.
But is it a loss?
Sorry. Hold on. Let me take that back. To win the damn match.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Get it together.
I appreciate you correcting yourself.
Soccer aficionado.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you think they play music in the locker room after a tie like that? After a draw?
Yes, but softly.
Like soft
Is it
music?
classical
Yeah.
music?
Yeah.
On
Classical music?
At a lower tone,
Okay.
basically. All right, so T-Bone, our guy T-Bone, had an interesting tweet over the weekend following the Cardinals split, their series split against the Rockies, in which he noted that your Cardinals are now 12-12 versus the Astros, Mets, A's, Angels, Rockies, Marlins, White Sox.
Those are some good
7 teams. 7 of the worst teams in Major
Wait.
League Baseball as of today. Maybe not Houston. Houston's starting to turn around a little bit. Nonetheless, they are 12-12 versus those teams, and they've been outscored 107-105.
I mean, let's be honest.
Are the
let's
Cardinals
have a,
basically the Blues?
Let's have
Carey,
a fair conversation about this.
Okay.
If the Cardinals were a good team, meaning above 500, meaning, had an opportunity to, I guess you'd still have an opportunity to win the division. You're only 6.5 games back, but you're only half a game out of last. So you take to whatever you want to out of that.
Yeah.
But that's who they are. They are an average team because that's how they've been playing. Now, do they have the talent to be better than average? Sure. If they stop throwing balls in the outfield from second base, if they stop throwing balls to the dugout from shortstop, if they start hitting the ball.
How about if
with
the
runners in
catcher
scoring
gets the
position?
ball to second base?
I was going to get to that in a second.
He got it to second base. It just went through and then in the outfield.
Yeah, but
It went over.
It was still late, about 2 seconds.
It's not.
Either way.
He's struggling. and Ali said as much. He's struggling. They don't want to, beat him down because he's a young player, but he's struggling playing catcher and throwing runners out. And I can tell you, I can almost guarantee you every team that they play from here on out is going to attempt to steal on him because he hasn't got it corrected yet.
Oh, big time.
The percentage is way too low. Talking about Amon Herrera, it's way too low for him to not get stole on every single game that he's playing from here on out. They're going to take a chance because he's just not been that good at it. But all in all, I mean, what do you expect? Like, you give those numbers 12 and 12 against the worst teams in the league. Well, so are the Cardinals.
Absolutely.
The Cardinals are the lower half of the NL side of things. Like, they are not a good team themselves. So, but they're in the middle.
No, they're a playoff team, Carey.
They're in the middle
They
of the pack.
are a playoff team.
Two games under 500.
They're still a playoff team now.
You know what? I have a theory. Like with bowl games, I hate when the 6-6 team gets to a bowl game.
Yeah.
Because if you lose, you're under 500. You shouldn't be allowed to be in a bowl game if you're under 500. And then maybe make that same rule for professional sports. Maybe take some of, in football or basketball, take some of the other side conferences that are above 500 and just throw them to the other side. Like, you guys stink. No way in hell you're going to win a championship. Why waste our damn time? Let's put the teams that actually are good, that are going to miss the playoffs, and they're above 500 because the teams are better on their side. How about that? New rule.
Oh, there goes the NBA play-in
There
tournament.
you go. The hell with it.
Wow.
I'm
There
with
goes the
it.
NBA play-in tournament.
I liked it
There
because
goes
I thought
6
the
teams
Warriors
in
were
one
gonna
conference.
There goes your last wild card for Major League Baseball.
Throw it all out.
Guys, the good
Take
thing
the
that
top 8 teams, top 6 teams in every sport, and go from there. Don't worry about it.
good thing is that in the National League, every team except for the Rockies and the Marlins is in playoff contention.
Oh,
Even
good.
the Mets, who are at 28 and 36 right now, they're only 3 games out of the playoff spot.
Well, I look forward to playing the Rockies.
Oh, I don't.
That way, you're playing a bad team, you should get some wins.
No.
It's not how that
Typically, it's
works.
a 3-game series, but maybe it'll be a 4-game series this time.
It's not how that works, Anthony. You haven't been watching the Cardinals enough.
You haven't been watching the games. Carey, you're absolutely right. It's 4 games, you split it. It doesn't really matter who the opponent is. This is what average teams do. Sometimes they take 3 from one of the best teams in one of the leagues, like they did with the Baltimore Orioles. Sometimes they split a series against one of the worst teams, like they just did against the Rockies, or drop a series like they did to the White Sox. This is what average teams do. They're not bad. They're not good. They're right there in the middle. And they're going to have stretches and streaks like they did in April, where they look like they don't belong. And then they're going to have stretches and streaks like they did in May, where you say, hey, this thing could come together, huh, boys? What do you say, Pat? Huh?
Can it? Nah.
That's what they are.
You got to show me
They're
more.
going to be maddening.
all season
Just
long.
experience this with the Blues.
I think things are going to be different.
We did.
Don't need to be firing strays.
That wasn't even a stray. I actually lined them up that time.
I think this next series is going to be different, much like you, Anthony, wearing a hat to work today. Very different. We actually got a message from the Snake Pit. Whoa, Stalter with a hat on. Different look. That's from Droid. And then Walrus King says, must be a bad haircut. I don't think that's the case.
I didn't even get a haircut.
I don't think that's the case.
I didn't get a haircut. I went clean shaven, took a shower last night, so I felt good going to bed.
Oh, you had to shower, did you?
Yeah.
Boy.
Good for you.
I showered this time.
Yeah.
Good.
Had the bedhead this morning, so I'm like, you know what? We'll just throw the hat on. No big deal. But no, not a bad haircut. I've had those before.
It
As we
has
all have.
happened.
Yeah, it has happened.
This Cardinal team feels like a bad haircut.
It certainly does. Yeah.
You just got to give it time and it grow out.
Although I don't know if that works that way.
Or just take it right down to the wood,
Or
Carey.
just cut it off. Cut it all off.
That's almost where like the analogy has to stop. That's a bad haircut you got to wear. You know what? Here's the
essentially
analogy.
what it is.
It's a bad haircut you have to wear, and at some point you just have to get over it.
Yeah.
You know?
But it takes a while. You're going to be staring at that in the mirror
Yes.
for weeks
Yes.
before it actually fills in or grows in correctly. Or,
Yep.
like I said, you could just cut it all off
You could start over.
and start over.
Speaking of bad
That's the best way.
haircuts and having to wear it, basically, my first year of junior hockey, what they did back then for like a, not hazing, but initiation, is they would cut the rookie's hair.
Yeah.
And so they took the buzzer and just like cut like strips into my head. And you're not allowed to cut it. You have to wear it like that for like 2 weeks or whatever. And you go to school, and school back then, they didn't let you wear hats. So you got to walk in looking like a total psychopath.
Right.
Like, what's wrong with this kid?
Hence the bonding.
Just like one strip, and then like one over here, and then a chunk out of the back. Looked like I got attacked by a tiger or something. And I had to wear that for 2 weeks.
That's where you got to come up with some creative stories.
Hopefully you weren't the only one in school like that. Were you the only one?
I was
there?
the only one in my school like that. But it's Canada. Everybody knows the hockey players and the guys, right? So what's funny is when you line up for the national anthem for the very first game after it happens, and you got like 4 or 5 guys take their helmets off, and the other team always giggles. Like, oh, they got
There's
them.
the rookie.
There they are.
I was in middle school one time, and I got a haircut, and I had the flow. We'll call it the flow, right? And I wanted to get it trimmed. And this older lady cut my hair and gave me a bowl cut. It looked like one of the guys from the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
And I went to school the next day and got made fun of. Dad picked me up from school, immediately went and got another haircut.
Yeah.
I was pretty upset.
I don't blame you, man. You took care of it, though.
I did.
Unlike your Cardinals. It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN.
No, well played.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, you're right.
Last night watching the Battlehawks, Carey, you were there. That one was extremely frustrating. It also goes to show you that when you play a certain way, unfortunately, it kind of shows itself in the most inopportune times. We'll get in your Battlehawks next on 101 ESPN.
Are you thinking about selling your house here? Coming up here, it's a perfect time to put your home on the market, but a lot of people have questions. The market has been crazy, and if you're not quite sure what you're doing or you don't ask the right price, it can get really tricky, which is why you need to call Gloria Lou. With your home sold guaranteed realty, Gloria has a promise to all of her sellers, and what she does is she guarantees that she sells your home. And Gloria has mastered the home selling promise by guaranteeing upfront and in writing to sell your home at your agreed upon price and time frame, or she will buy it herself. She guarantees that in handwriting as well. And she's really confident about selling your home because she has thousands of buyers that are ready, willing, and able to purchase your home. That drives a lot more traffic to your listing, maybe multiple offers, and hopefully more money for you at the end of it all when you get to the closing table. And I promise you, with Gloria Lou, you will get to the closing table. So if you have any questions or you're looking to sell your home, call Gloria Lou today. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number is 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree upon the sales price and possession date.
So unfortunately, a dream scenario for our Battlehawks turned into an absolute nightmare last night at the Battle Dome as the Battlehawks saved perhaps their worst performance for the biggest game. I know they had an uglier loss, but that was with the backup quarterback a couple of weeks ago with A.J. McCarron hobbled. But I mean, last night was incredibly frustrating. Before we dive into like the UFL aspect of this, as the championship game will be set in St. Louis next Sunday, but it will not include the Battlehawks. Carey, I know you were there. I know you had a lot of opinions on ultimately what went wrong for the Battlehawks. So what was a couple of takeaways you had?
Well, offensively, it just felt like they were not moving the ball well enough, and it running the ball on first down, which makes you, if you only get a couple of yards, you got to throw on second down. They became a little bit predictable. One thing that we talked about, we were sitting there with a couple of guys, all of us had played, and we were like, they don't take enough shots downfield, which is something that I had been saying all season long. Like, you have to stretch the field. You have to make the defense know that you're going to attack them in every inch of this field so that they have to cover it. And I don't feel like they did that well enough. And then defensively, man, oh man, oh man. I'm talking about when you talk about run the ball up the gut, like run it right at you, running it down your throat. San Antonio did that. They ran the ball to the tune of 200-plus yards, and most of those runs were right up in the A-gap, B-gap, right where the linebacker should be filling the hole, and they were not there. And so you put your secondary in a position where they have to make tackles. They weren't making tackles either. There was a couple of big plays, a slant route that San Antonio scored on. The DB tried to deflect the ball. The safety came over the top. He was out of place, and the receiver scored on a 30, 40-yard touchdown. It just was minor mistakes happening here and there that cost them to lose that game. But the defense, that was probably the worst I've seen them play defensively, just not stopping the run. You hang your hat. In football, if you can run the ball, especially playoffs, if you can run the ball and stop the run, you put yourself in a position to win the game. San Antonio did both of those things. They ran the ball and they stopped the run. St. Louis did not. And that, to me, was probably the most frustrating thing. Watching that team gash St. Louis was very frustrating for me.
Most frustrating thing for me watching that game was that there was very little to no adjustments made at halftime. Nothing. Like, your offense was not good in the first half. Your defense was porous, like you said. And the defense, obviously, I think you could change certain strategies. Carey, you know more than me, and Anthony, you do too. But if you see them getting these yardage, like, you got to change your scheme a little bit. But offensively, like, they went from being boring and stale to all of a sudden a double reverse to your quarterback with a high ankle sprain.
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
And a Philly special, too.
The Philly special. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah.
Like, if that was their idea of taking their shots, that's the wrong way to do it. I would have never put my quarterback in that situation if I knew he was gimping around on one leg. And don't run those plays. You just got 15, 20 yards off a great carry up the middle of the field, and then the next play is a double reverse.
Off a turnover, too.
Yeah. You just turned the ball. You got a huge interception, Malcolm Butler style, in the end zone, and now you give the ball back because you play this, like, schoolyard play that you made up.
Yep.
I don't know. I just didn't like it.
They had chances to win that game. I mean, they put themselves in a position. They scored on the fumble recovery late in the third quarter where you should have felt the energy in there.
Yeah.
It definitely shifted. They had just scored a touchdown the previous drive, and then they got the fumble recovery for a touchdown. The energy was there. There were opportunities, but San Antonio just said, the hell with you all. We're going to run the ball at you. And you talk about adjustments. There is no adjustment for that. Because that was the players. Like, the players, I watched linebackers go underneath blocks and the linemen just seal them and they create a huge hole. Instead of fighting over the top, fighting to your correct gap, getting there and making the running back have to make another cut. That was mostly the players not doing their job. San Antonio did a damn good job up front of blocking. St. Louis did not do a good job of getting off blocks, and they took the game to them, and St. Louis was not able to respond to it.
You know, it's unfortunate, too. Marsh, you and I talked a lot about the run defense a year ago, and it's just something with the playoffs, especially in football, but maybe you feel it, too, in hockey as well, Jamie. But whoever you are, it seems to be magnified in the postseason. So if you're the Chiefs, great. I mean, whoever you are, it's magnified. But if you're the Battlehawks in this example, the run defense was a problem last year. It kind of got solved throughout the year.
Last year.
Yeah, it kind of got solved throughout this season. But lo and behold, that's who you are. Last year, I thought they collapsed too. They collapsed down the stretch. really fast start. Everybody's excited. Then they kind of limped, and they wound up not making the playoffs. This year, they do make the playoffs. They host a game, but this was not the same Battlehawks team that we saw through, say for the first week when they lost to Michigan, but throughout the course of the season, they won the same team. The other thing, too, man, I thought Wade Phillips put on a masterclass. I mean, this was like, hey, I've won Super Bowls. Watch this. And Bruce Gretkowski, as great as his offense was throughout the course of the year, unfortunately lost that chess match. In the trenches, Battlehawks got bullied. The defensive line for the Brahmas knew what they were doing, and there is a way. We saw it in the Super Bowl against Sean McVay's offense when Bill Belichick did it. We've seen it a lot with the Dolphins offense. When the Dolphins offense gets shut down, or the Rams offense gets shut down, or the Bengals offense gets shut down, they're all similar to the Battlehawks. A lot of the times when that defense sees a single back, they will blitz. And they will blitz just a completely unmanned gap, and it winds up being a big play. Sack, turnover, just getting A.J. McCarron to the quarterback off of his spot. It winds up being a disaster.
Did you think that the team needed to throw the ball to Hakeem Butler more? Now, he looked fantastic yesterday. I know he dropped that first pass, but he made a couple Randy Moss-esque catches.
I still
One of
can't
them
believe they
wasn't a
didn't count that
touchdown.
one.
I know.
That was surprising.
I agree.
surprising.
It was surprising to me on many levels. One, I thought he did have enough control of the ball.
So did I.
Two, the UFL needed St. Louis in the final. And you got the guys in the video booth, I'd be like, hey, buddy, no, that's a freaking touchdown.
Right.
So
slide a little note over.
Yeah. Or you should have had it in the pre-show meeting.
Yeah.
No, when I watched that play, so I just watched it again. We were watching it in real time. He caught the ball. When he secured the ball, he crossed the line. 1 foot got in the end zone, but the ball is over the goal line, so you don't necessarily need 2 feet in the end zone. Mm-hmm. So that to me was a touchdown. I don't know. I think if they would have called it a touchdown on the field, I think they would have stayed with the touchdown. I don't know if it was, confirmed when they said they went to replay because we were at the game, so I can't hear the TV. Mm-hmm. But it looked to me like a touchdown. Like you caught the ball, you secured it, you juggled it at first, you secured it, but when you cross that line, it's a touchdown. The play is over. Nothing else matters. So I was a little bit thrown off by that.
I was also wondering if the same referee made that call, the same one that made the Jake Sutherland call, which was clearly over the
touchdown, right?
The line. I don't know what they were looking at.
He threw his little beanbag out. Well, this has got to be a fumble. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good call. But
you
just
should have to put yourself in that situation to begin with.
They got out-coached. I hate to say it. I love Beck. I love Bruce Gretkowski. They got out-coached. They got outplayed. That was... San Antonio has a really good defense. Not surprising. Wade Phillips is their coach. Wade Phillips has forgotten more about football than most of us will ever know, especially on that side of the ball.
Did you see what Wade Phillips said to Hakeem Butler following the game? Mm-hmm. He says, I'm going to tell everybody in the NFL that I know to basically take you as a player.
That's fantastic.
You need to be in the league.
Yeah.
Which he does.
Carey, I imagine, you can even see it in the Battlehawk games. He doesn't create separation. He has got to win on the ground like he did. But can he not play tight end? Well, the way that the NFL uses some of these guys, an H-back.
The problem with him, I think, is consistency catching the football. If you are you talked about the first drop of the game, or his first drop of the game, first drive where he's wide open for a first down, big play, drop. You talk about juggling that ball instead of catching it cleanly. I think that's the difference that you see from NFL players and some of the UFL players, is that those plays are made consistently. You're sitting there and you're going to have to do it over and over and over and over again. I was sitting there with Torrey Holt watching the game, and we were talking about, he said the reward, the same thing we say, the reward for doing well, you get to get up and go do it again. Nobody cares that you did it well one time. Yep. The professional athletes, the ones that are making it to the next level, are the ones that can do it consistently over and over and over again. And I think that may be his only hang up with making it to the NFL or staying in the NFL. He has the size. I think he has the speed. He has all of the tools. But will he catch the ball consistently enough to stay on a roster? Because if he does, he's a matchup nightmare for any cornerback trying to cover him.
Well, looks like the Giants will be hosting running back Jacob Sailors for a visit tomorrow.
That makes sense. I mean, Sailors had a really nice year, and he had been on, I think, 2 practice squads, Atlanta and Cincinnati, so he'll get a shot. It's certainly disappointing. If you were there and you want to go back, see, unfortunately, the Brahmas play. Now, the Brahmas did beat the Stallions. They're the only team to beat the Stallions, so it should be a good matchup, despite your Battlehawks not being in it. If you want to see that next Sunday, we have your chance right now to score a pair of tickets to the United Football Championship game. Try my best to sell it. It's this Sunday at the Dome at America Center.
You're doing great.
Happy Father's Day. Go see the Brahmas. It's history in the making as the Birmingham Stallions and the San Antonio Brahmas face off for the first ever UFL champion crown this Saturday at the Dome. Sunday, at the Dome. Tickets are now on sale, or you can text to win free tickets, 314-399-9646. Again, 314-399-9646. Get all the ticket info and find a bonus chance to register to win tickets for this Sunday's UFL Championship game at 101ESPN.com. Carey just told you who we watched the game with yesterday. Which player, which former player, yes, serious. Which former player did Carey watch the Battlehawks game with yesterday? Text in 314-399-9646. That's next. We got what's trending next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you are a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, then I need to tell you about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. You'd be amazed how scrap metal adds up and can help your business's cash flow. If you're a plumber, heating and cooling, excavator, or a contractor, Scrap Mart Metals Recycling can make your job much easier. The job site cleanup for contractors can be a mess, but if you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it's one less thing you have to do. You know, owning that heavy equipment, it often breaks down. At some point, it's going to be time to end your suffering and get rid of the equipment. Scrap Mart will actually come out and pick it up for you and recycle it. Or if you want to do it yourself, they have 3 convenient locations that you can take it to: Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. It is recycling made easy. If it's metal, they will buy it. They offer a convenient drive-on scale, and they have the highest payout. You will always get top dollar for your scrap metals. Just go to scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account. It's that simple. Scrapmartmetals.com. Again, if it's metal, they'll buy it. Let them know that Carey sent you. Scrapmartmetals.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. We just got done talking about your St. Louis Battlehawks. Unfortunately, they lost in the XFL Championship game 25-15 to the San Antonio Brahmas. The Brahmas will now take on the Birmingham Stallions in the UFL Championship game next Sunday. Also this weekend, the Cardinals split with the Rockies 2 games apiece. They'll take on the Pirates tomorrow, 6:45. Miles Michaelis on the mound going up against Paul Skeens. In the NBA, the Boston Celtics took a 2-0 series lead in the NBA Finals, 105-98 victory over the Dallas Mavericks. And tonight, Game 2 between the Panthers and the Oilers as the Panthers lead the Stanley Cup Final Series 1-0. Pre-game starts at 6:30, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, last week we talked about Dan Hurley potentially becoming the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Well, today Hurley has turned down the Lakers' 6-year, $70 million offer and will return to chase a 3rd straight national title at UConn. What are your thoughts on Dan Hurley staying with the Huskies?
How great it is to be able to turn that down.
6 years, $70 million.
Turn down
what am I
$70
missing
million
here?
and still feel okay.
Yeah, like what am I missing? Like UConn, I'm sure pays pretty well.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think it's a money thing.
$70 million in the LA market?
He's going for history.
The cost of living got to be,
Oh yeah, times are tough. How's he gonna make ends meet, Carey?
yeah.
I mean, fuel for your
my
boat and your jet got to be a lot. So
It's a lot.
Let
out
alone
there
other
in
stuff
LA.
that he'd be making money for. Because as soon as you become head coach of the Lakers in that area, like you're getting other opportunities.
Endorsements,
Yeah.
things. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. I think maybe the you say 6 years, so maybe there were some things that were talked about. LeBron is not going to play for another 6 years. Is Anthony Davis going to stay healthy for another 6 years? What does it look like in the next 2 years when LeBron is probably on the tail end of his career and close to retirement? Does it look like they were told him, yeah, we're drafting Bronny James and we're going to try to keep LeBron happy? Was that a conversation? Like, there are many things that could have taken place where Hurley was like, yeah, no, I don't think we should be drafting a young man that probably shouldn't be drafted no matter what round it is, first or second round in the NBA. I don't know that to be the truth, but I mean, there is speculation that Bronny James will be drafted to the Lakers because his dad is there. So, there are probably a lot of factors, and the fact that it's different coaching college young men, even though they're getting paid now, than it is coaching a player that's making $50-60 million a year.
Yeah.
You talk about $60 million for 7 years. LeBron's going to make that in 1 year. So what are you, the respect level, how do you coach a player that makes that much money? That may have been a question as well. At the end of the day, he may have saw that it was not a good situation for him and his family and thought that UConn would be much better.
I liked the fit. We talked about it last week. I did. I liked the fit. I thought it made sense. LeBron has talked about the Hurley family and what they have meant to him. I thought it was a good fit all over. I thought it was a good fit for the Lakers. The one thing I will say, though, is, and you kind of just alluded to this, Carey, if you're at a program like UConn and you've won as much as Hurley has, won back-to-back national championships, it's your deal.
Yeah.
It's your program.
Oh yeah.
It may not
He's
be
like
your program with
Nick
the Lakers.
Saban of the basketball
Absolutely.
world. Yeah.
Now you still have to put up with the transfer portal, NIL, all that stuff. All this stuff is there. And I think Nick Saban walked away in part because of that and the changing landscape in college sports. However, it's your deal. You can run it however you want to.
Yeah.
I think it's easier in college basketball than college football. Less players to deal with.
Very true.
Easier to keep a hold of them and give them what it is they need. And if a guy isn't, and it's also easier to go get the guys that you may need to replace some of those guys. I just think just based off of the numbers in college basketball, it's easier than college football. But he just may have wanted to stay, there and didn't feel like L.A. was a place for him, his family, and, his future going forward.
Another thing, too, to remember is he's back-to-back championships. So there's not a whole lot of guys that are worth anything that are leaving his program.
True.
There's probably a lot of people that are knocking at the door trying to get into the program.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't feel like he's out there grinding to hang on to players. Maybe some of the backup guys or guys that didn't play much.
Sure.
But the main guys, the main players, they're not trying to leave.
The only other thing, too, and he's been public about this, so what I'm going to say is not diving into anything that he hasn't also discussed openly. He openly struggles with anxiety. It's a big deal for him. I'm not trying to speculate, but maybe going to L.A., being the Lakers coach and all that, maybe at the end of he goes, you know what? This is the best situation for me here at UConn. So,
Could be.
good for him.
Mm-hmm. Either way, it's good news for Anthony's UConn Huskies.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Marsh, for saying it that
Absolutely.
way. Yeah.
Big news for Carey.
You know that, Carey.
I know it.
You and I had our battles. Well,
what were
wasn't
you
a
saying,
battle
Marshy?
as much as it was
a
just an annihilation.
Second half beatdown.
Yeah.
I was going to
To
say,
start the second half.
great news for Carey is Mike Tomlin has received a contract extension from the Pittsburgh Steelers that runs through the 2027 season. He signed a 3-year extension, the team announced today.
Good for
It's big
him.
news for Mike T.
It's good for him, good for the Steelers. I know Steeler fans are a bit crazy at times. They want him out of there, but where the hell are you going to find a coach that never loses, huh? Where? You're not. You haven't found one yet. He hadn't had a losing season. We'll count a couple of the draws, to use our soccer terms. But losing seasons is not what he does. And he did that with essentially no quarterback play the last couple of years. He got 2 really good quarterbacks now. This team has upgraded at the...
Did he just say really good?
Yeah.
In
How
comparison
the hell
to
did
what
he
he
slide
had.
that
I'm just going to let him
finish.
roll.
Oh, go
In
ahead.
comparison to what he's had over the last couple of years, even
That part might be true.
even Ben's last year, where his arm was held together with duct tape and a piece of thread, a yarn, looked like. He's got quarterbacks now that can actually get the ball to where they need to be. I think this offense is going to be really good. Talk about your guy, Arthur Smith. Run the damn ball, Artie. That's what we're going to do.
He'll do that.
Play action pass. Russell's really good. Get outside. Moving on the move. I think this team is going to be really good and probably surprise some people.
I think the main thing to dissect out of this is that Mike Tomlin has had a very respectable program. Like, nobody talks trash about the Steelers. Like, even if they're not playing well.
They're smart.
Well, but even if they're not playing well or they don't have the quarterback, like, you don't have the national people trashing the organization because they have so much respect for Mike Tomlin. So, if nothing else, he's managed that entire team in a very, very professional way.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Last thing here, Caitlin Clark snubbed from the women's Olympic basketball team. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they should have put her on the team.
Yeah,
Maybe not from a basketball standpoint, but there's a lot of people that want to see Caitlin Clark.
Well, when you're trying
I
to
think
grow,
it's a missed opportunity.
when you're trying to grow your brand, globally, as the WNBA is trying to do right now, it's difficult not to take her. But in listening to a lot of the basketball experts who cover the WNBA and some of the former players in the WNBA, some of the current players, like, she's really not one of the best players. So what's the message that you're sending to maybe a better player that won't make it because Caitlin Clark is there? Now you're basically telling the league, we're marketing. It's a bit of a circus here, and sorry, you're the one that's left out here, but we got to grow the game. So from a player standpoint, I see why she wasn't picked. From a marketing and exposure standpoint, how the hell do you leave her off the team?
Thank you.
But really, like, from the business brain kicks in, and there's no bigger name in women's basketball right now than Caitlin Clark. I mean, I could be wrong, Carey, but even some of the other stars.
And a lot of them seem like they hate it.
Oh, they can't stand it.
But for me, it does make sense. I think sometimes you have to put aside your pride. And if she is bringing this much attention, Shannon Sharp said something earlier today that really kind of resonated with me. He said, when else have they had to move a WNBA game to a bigger arena?
I think they probably drew more than the damn Wizards.
And he asked, he said, when was the last time? Probably never.
Yeah.
So if this person is bringing that many fans to where you have to move a game to another arena to accommodate the fans that want to see her, as you said, business savvy tells you, sometimes you got to make a business decision, and everybody's not going to agree with it, but it's part of growing that brand, and eventually, initially, I mean, at the end of the day, it helps everybody that is on the tail end of that. Like one person can assist to grow this thing to be much bigger than it was.
Help everybody
to
else
start.
make money too.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the one thing too to remember is, even if they took Caitlin Clark and she's not better than another girl that they leave off, she's not going to embarrass herself.
No.
It's not like she's just a flub player.
It's not like she's the mascot.
No, exactly. She's a really good player. She would find a way to contribute, and certainly from a revenue standpoint and visibility, as far as ratings and things like that, she moves the needle.
No doubt. Does Oli Marmol have any room to bicker with the media? That's next on 101 ESPN. One of the things that I love about Happy Roof Company is, yes, they'll come out and they'll fix your roof. If you want a new roof, they'll do it. And they'll give you a warranty that's going to be outstanding, and their product knowledge is off the charts, all of that. But when it comes to roof damage, working with insurance companies, things like that, the Happy Roof Company, they step up. If you had your roof damaged before and your insurance company has already paid you, you're good, but you just need a roofer that's going to give you an estimate, well, the Happy Roof Company, they have cost-effective solutions on flat roofing and metal roofs with competitive pricing, the free estimates. Do you need help with the insurance paperwork on a damaged roof? The Happy Roof Company can help. If your insurance claim got denied, but all your other neighbors are getting new roofs except for you, call Happy Roof. They work incredibly well with insurance companies. So whether you're dealing with a leaky roof, an old roof, a damaged roof, an ugly roof, the Happy Roof Company, they need to be your first call. 314-665-3001. Again, 314-665-3001. TheHappyRoof.com. It's the Happy Roof Company. Cardinals play to a series split against the last place Rockies. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. Carey, you got a problem with the way I said it?
Last place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's where they're at. Well, not the Cardinals.
Almost.
I was just stating a fact. I like to be descriptive, Carey.
You do a good job, sir.
Anthony he pays attention to detail.
He does.
I certainly do. But do the Cardinals? We'll get to that in a second. Derek Gould, Oli Marmol. Derek Gould, fantastic beat writer for STLtoday.com. He was asking Oli some questions over the weekend following the games, including one about the middle of the order. So you'll hear Derek ask some questions here, and you'll hear Oli's response.
As your offense kind of fits and starts and gets going, it's the middle of the order that needs to catch and kind of drive. Is that sort of what you're seeing with the offense?
Yeah. I mean, isn't that everybody's offense in the middle?
It is, yeah.
All right.
Maybe that's...
Isn't that where production's made?
It is.
For the most part?
It's usually where contenders are created, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You started from there?
I do not. And I'm not trying to push back. It's just yesterday things go well. We find ways to make some moves at work. And you're on the third row, no questions. Today, a couple things don't go well. You're in the first row like a kid in a candy shop. So.
Well, I wasn't writing yesterday.
I'm just saying.
No, I wasn't writing. No, you asked, so I'll answer here on my television.
No, we don't have to. I'm just saying.
I wasn't writing yesterday.
So I'm not trying to push back, but at the same time, like, it's just.
You're welcome to push back. That's
Okay.
Question and answers are for.
Any other questions?
That was uncomfortable, man. I don't get the strategy from Oli when he does that. And he does it in times, like, I get there's frustration, but let's use a great reference point in Craig Berube, okay? Anthony, how many times before we get him on, or when we used to, we'd be like, woof, they've lost 3 or 4 in a row. It's like, okay, like, if he short answers us, we'll let him go early, and then we'll react to what he says,
Yeah.
And it never happened. Always had an answer, wasn't always happy, could tell. But what does Oli have, what leverage does Oli have to push back against Derek Gould, who has been doing this for a really long time and will be doing it for a really long time following Oli Marmol's tenure as the manager? And nothing he asked was wrong. The middle of your order, he was trying to be polite, actually, because he didn't say Goldschmidt and Arenado aren't producing. He said the middle of your order is a little,
Right.
And Oli pushes back and says, you're in third row yesterday, front row today, acting like, he's foaming at the mouth.
Like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
Like, that's personal.
And Derek's like, I wasn't writing yesterday.
Right.
And then Oli tries to gloss over it. No, but I wasn't writing yesterday. That's why I wasn't sitting up here asking questions, because I wasn't writing.
I honestly really like that approach, because, all right, you're gonna kind of give me this, little bit of a condescending answer. Okay, no problem. I'll let it go. But then you double down and say, you were in the third row yesterday when we won. Today we lost, and you're a kid in a candy store. Okay, you want to do this? Cool. Wasn't writing yesterday. And I love that Derek kept on it. Because Oli now is like, he wants
He's like,
out.
we don't have to discuss it. No, we're fine.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not trying to push back. You can push back.
Go for it. Go for it, champ. Go for it. You be the reporter. I'll be you. Go for it.
It's just unprofessional. I'm sorry. And I know he has a lot of media availability because baseball does the pregame,
before and
postgame.
after, yes.
I get it. Okay. But that is part of your job.
Right.
And that's one thing then talking to Drew Bannister when he took over for Craig Berube was like, he was asking questions, and, I've known him for a long time. He's like, okay, so about the media availabilities. And I said, this is going to be your biggest obstacle is you get every morning, every post game, every pregame, like it's there. And if you're playing well, it's great. It's easy. If you're not playing well, then it's going to be difficult.
Right.
But that is part of your job.
Yeah.
So I think that by not, to me, it feels like at times they don't really, you in other markets, there are harder questions that are asked. Like, and to ask.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And so I think they're trying to be polite and kind to Oli, and I don't know that he receives it as such, because the question should have been, your heart of the order isn't hitting. Are you going to switch it? Are you going to move those guys around?
Why haven't you changed it?
You changed it?
Yes.
Because if those guys aren't performing, if you say, Well, if the 3, 4, and 5 don't perform well, we're not going to win. Why the hell are they still there then?
Right.
That should be the question. I'll change it for you, because if you are going to push back at and give kind of a condescending answer, well, those guys, and I feel like the question was a softball. Like you're trying to be respectful and be polite, and I think Oli is he's pissed off. Like, they're not playing well. And as a coach, as a player, we all feel it. We all know our jobs are on the line if we don't win. And if we lose 2 games to the Rockies, who, as you said, are the worst team in the league, that's not good.
Yeah.
We can't afford to not win that series and pretend to be a playoff team or a team that's trying to be in playoff contention. Which one are we? And I think that there's frustration from Oli Marmol, and I think the media tries to give him softer questions, but the question should have been, if they're not performing, when are you going to change it? Or are you going to change it?
The one thing that stood out to me, too, was Derek Gould saying this is where contenders are essentially made. And that was the thing that stuck out, because this middle of the lineup is not one of those teams. And I think that was his point, was to say, this is not a contending lineup, the middle of the order. How can you fix things, and how can you make it to be one of those teams? And he kind of brushed it off as, well, isn't that every team?
Yeah, no, it's not every team. It's every contender,
Every
which you're
contending
not.
team.
It was being insecure and just sour for no reason.
Yeah, real quick, so we'll carry this over. But Carey, you're absolutely right. So you're in a different market. This is how that question goes. Hey, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado making a truckload of money. They're not hitting. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
That's Boston. That's New York. That's Philadelphia.
No question.
And why haven't you done something about
Right.
it?
Here,
What's taking so long?
We are, and I'll say we, because we're part of it.
Correct.
We are a soft market. I don't mean soft as like we can't ask the hard questions.
Just don't.
It's just it is a kinder Midwest market.
Yep.
So if you can't do it here, you're going to struggle in other places if you get another opportunity.
Soft
is right. Like, dude, you're not Greg Popovich to be responding like that. All right. There was another exchange, not as heated, but there's another exchange between Oli and Derek Gould that we'll get into next on 101 ESPN. More interaction between Oli and Derek Gould of the Post-Dispatch. We'll get into Andrew Marsh, Kerry Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. 304, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. So before the exchange about the middle of the order that we just played here on 101 ESPN, Derek Gould, again, beat writer, successful, long-time beat writer for STLtoday.com, the Post-Dispatch. Derek Gould talking to Oli Marmol, and this was an attention to detail that was focused on the defense. Here's Derek Gould and Oli Marmol.
There was an area related to his goal days, just kind of just the attention to detail.
The attention to detail or just the errors? Those are two different things.
Okay. We'll then separate them. You talked about the errors that you obviously, that's uncharacteristic you want to improve. Part of the errors is also, is it not attention to detail?
We need to improve it. Yeah, defense has not been good. Gibby did a really nice job of pitching through some noise today, that's for sure. I mean, he was phenomenal of making the next pitch and just staying in the moment, making the next pitch. Some guys would have caved there, and it would have been a much different game where we would have been out of it much earlier. But the Gorman play obviously sticks out. The DC one, there's several that stick out there. The throwdown on the walk that leads to that run as well. So, yeah, it's not good. The attention to detail has been super high in that clubhouse and the preparation leading into it. I feel good about what our guys are doing leading into the game. And the quality of that's no different than when we were praising the defense early on this year. We're just in a little bit of a rut where there are a lot of mistakes being made on the field.
What's the phrase to use? Because they're not all errors.
They're errors and non-plays.
They're non-plays.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking about.
Yeah, attention to detail to me is more in preparation. How guys are approaching their days, their lack of focus or a lack of attention to things that they need to be working on. That stuff's you can get with Willie and Stubby and understand how much attention to detail there is at the moment. So that's where I would push back a little bit on that part.
Jamie, your thoughts?
Yeah.
You go first.
So, again, a useless banter back and forth. Splitting hairs over bad defense or attention to detail. And Ollie's wrong, by the way. I'm sorry. And, Carey, you're going to talk here in a second, too. But I can tell you from my standpoint that anytime you're playing defense in any sport, it's attention to detail. Because if you don't have attention to detail on the field, on the ice, on the court, that's where you get burned. So the other team scores points and does damage. So making errors, sometimes it just happens. It's a bad bounce, this, that. But the throwing errors, I'm sorry, that's attention to detail. When you're Nolan Gorman and you're 15, 20 feet from the guy at second base and you throw it 6 feet wide, that's a problem.
In fairness, he was throwing it to Donovan and left.
It could be. And Ollie's saying, oh, well, I believe the attention to details more in their preparation. No, that's why they call that preparation. That's making sure that you're preparing properly. So I just think that, again, it's useless banter with a reporter for no reason at all. You look at the stat sheet, you can clearly see that your team defensively is one of the worst in Major League Baseball right now. And that is, I'm sorry, it's 100% attention to detail. So, Carey, I don't know.
Yeah, I think when I heard that, I was a bit confused as well, because I don't necessarily consider attention to detail being practice or preparation. For me, it's taking what you learned in practice and being attentive to that detail while you're doing said activity.
Makes sense.
Attentive to the detail you were taught and then doing it. So when I heard that, I was a bit taken back, because I never heard it explained like that. But as Jamie said, if you are unable to do the things that you're working on daily, then you're not having attention to those details. You're not doing the job. And I think what we're seeing, in my opinion, what we're seeing right now is Oli Marmol he feels like there's a lot of pressure on him. So when you're under pressure, you're frustrated. You have no way in hell to correct the things that are going on because you're working on them. Obviously, you're doing the things, the minor detail things that are required to be good, and then your players aren't taking that and transitioning it to the field. That's a frustrating place to be in as a coach. damn it, I taught you this. I talked to you about this. I showed you this. We went over this, and you still screwed it up. That is a level of frustration that most people, it's like your kids. You tell your kid, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't touch that. Hey, don't do that. That's going to hurt. Damn it, why did you do it? Because your kid is there. I don't know, Dad. I just felt like I should do it right now. It was calling me. No, don't do it. Do it this way. I don't want to do it that way.
Yeah.
And so there's a level of frustration when you are coaching these things. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing him extremely frustrated because he has no control over what they do on the field. Mm-hmm. Only thing you can do as a coach is prepare your players to do their job. And he's trying to back his players. He's also not trying to throw guys under the bus and say, I ain't thrown a ball into left field yet. I haven't short hopped the ball to second base from behind the plate yet. That's the players, but he's not going to say that because he's going to protect his guys. So the frustration that you're hearing is that he can't talk bad about him. He can't speak to what he really feels, but he also is under a lot of pressure because it's not happening in the way that him and his staff needed to happen.
Yeah, but I think he loses credibility that way.
I don't disagree with that.
When you're sitting there just blindly defending your players when they have been terrible on the defensive side, like you lose your credibility. People sit there and they literally go, well, he's just backing his players. Mm-hmm. So whatever Ollie says from that point on is kind of disregarded because they're like, he's just... he's got his players back. He's afraid, or he doesn't have. Right. He's not like La Russa. He doesn't have the guts to call out his guys. He's not like Whitey when Whitey threw that guy into the clubhouse by his pants. Like
what story did what?
The one guy who gave the bird to the people in the crowd. I forget his name. Whitey grabbed him like by the collar. Was like, nope, we're not doing that here.
Right.
But if anything, if we're going to focus on the attention to detail thing, if Ollie thinks that they have great attention to detail, well, then their execution sucks.
Right.
Call it what you want. I don't care what words you use. Your defense is costing you ball games. Mm-hmm. Like, I was at that game on Saturday. I watched it with my own eyes because there was a Rockies fan. This guy, Mr. Loud Clapper, I started calling him. I was like, okay, Loud Clapper.
Yeah.
He's like sitting there having a few beers and he's got the really loud clap, like extended pass. And I was like, this guy's irritating me. And Blackman was up to the plate. And he was like, yeah, Blackman's going to get a base hit here. And I'm like, and he hit right to Gorman. I go, or a double play. And then Gorman fires it into the outfield. Now I really wanted to suck with the guy.
Yeah.
Because then he extra loud clapped at that point.
I'm sure.
But that's execution. I'm just, sorry, I'm bringing you into my world for a minute.
I like it. You're
I was like,
you're
Ashley, is it okay if I punch out this guy on Reed's birthday?
Fortunately, no.
I wasn't going to do that.
Fortunately, the Rockies helped you out, too, with that. They're like, we don't want your gifts.
We don't
take some of ours.
Yeah.
We're not a good team.
Yeah.
Why are you laying us this close?
Right. Let's take this.
It's a bad look.
We can do that too.
Dylan Carlson taking the wrong route. Ball goes over his head.
That was a tough one.
If that's not attention to detail.
What a great weekend too for him.
I know, I felt bad for him.
And one, he took a bad route. I thought he caught it.
It didn't catch it.
And I saw the ball skip past him.
Were those his first 3 RBIs of the season? I think.
That makes sense.
I think so.
I mean,
he got him left-handed, which was...
That was impressive, actually.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
But anyways,
Okay.
all this to say that Ollie needs to just relax.
Yeah. RELAX. Relax. Do the Oilers and Mavericks need to relax? No, they'd probably get on their horse. They're in trouble. They have a chance, or will we see another non-dramatic championship series in both the NBA and NHL? That's next on 101 ESPN. Auto Centers Nissan, they've got their hail sale going on right now. They still have some vehicles, but you got to get down there. You got to get down to Herculaneum. You got to check out the inventory that they have because they're going fast. They've got their hail sale discounts going on, $20,000 off some of the vehicles at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. So if you're in the market for a vehicle and you keep pushing it off, stop. Head down to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Drop my name. They'll love to hear that. They've got great deals going on throughout the month of June. They've got the massive price discounts, like I said, up to $20,000 off, plus no payments no payments for 3 months, and no down payment available on select new and used inventory, all right now at Auto Centers Nissan. All current Nissan specials and incentives are eligible for any hail-affected new Nissan. Stack up the discounts, save thousands. Plus, as always, you're going to get the 30-day new car return promise, the complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and eligible used vehicles, and the complimentary 1-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. It's all available out in Herculaneum. It's Auto Centers Nissan and AutoCentersNissan.com.
Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. And the question we asked before going to break is, do the Oilers and Mavericks have a chance this year in their respective leagues, or will we see another non-dramatic championship round?
Well, if you're watching, we'll start with basketball, and I know you'll go to the hockey. The Mavs.
What, you just think I'm the hockey guy?
Yeah, you're the hockey guy. I'll be the basketball
Wow,
guy.
Carey.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You played. I didn't.
I'll tell you what.
You want to do basketball?
Why don't you start
hockey.
with the basketball?
I'll do hockey. You do basketball.
No, the result will be the same. Why don't you do basketball?
I think with when you're watching the Mavs, first of all, the Celtics are an elite basketball team. Everyone has been talking about, is it Jason's team? Is it Jalen's team? I don't think they give a damn. I think that they are a team. Drew Holiday led the team in scoring yesterday, and so they don't care how they win. They just want to win. I believe they've only lost 2 games this entire playoffs, and they've been playing at such an elite level. They were the best team all season long. A team that a couple of years ago went to the finals, lost to the Warriors, has been in the position to in the Eastern Conference Finals a few times, 4 or 5 times, and to finally make it again. They are saying the hell with everything else. The Mavs just don't feel like they're deep enough for me. It looks like the Mavs have no chance. Kyrie Irving got to come to the party. He's got to show up. He's got to be more of a presence, which he has. Obviously, he's one of the best players to play this game. He has that ability. He's just not getting it done at the level that they need right now. And Luka, they're going to let him score his points. They're going to let him do all of the things that Luka Magic can do. He's a special talent. But if you're turning the ball over at the rate that he did last game and not getting assists in the rate that he did the first game, you are digging yourself out of a huge hole. Maybe they can go back to Dallas and get one and hopefully another one. But if they lose, if they go down 3-0, they might get swept.
So I wonder how much of an impact it's going to be with Porzingis being out now. Because he's out, he's going to get imaging done, and it doesn't sound promising. And I wonder how much of a swing that can be for, one, the Celtics that now have to find a replacement for him, and two, the Mavericks knowing that they don't have to deal with him.
Well, they've played without him. Until this series, they were rolling
but
along.
They haven't played the Mavericks. The Mavericks haven't played the Celtics.
This is true.
Him.
I don't even know that would be much of a concern for the Celtics. Because they've done it already these playoffs. They have been able to have success.
They played some terrible teams.
They did play some terrible teams who were missing their stars. Honestly, this had to be the easiest road to the NBA Finals. And this is no disrespect to any NBA players, but if you're looking at teams where their best player is hurt in each round, the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell, the Heat, Jimmy Butler, the Knicks, everybody, the entire team ended up breaking. Not the Knicks, the Pacers. Sorry, the Pacers, Halliburton. They were just trying to make it through. So the Celtics have been able to do a fantastic job with what they were facing. I don't know that losing Kristaps Porzingis, if he's unable to play, that will, deter them from having the success that they've had already.
I wonder what's going on with Luka as well, because he was almost not going to play last game, and then all of a sudden he's playing. I don't find that to be gamesmanship.
Yeah.
So, what's he dealing with? Because he still had I think he scored the most points.
He had 30 points. He's dealing with a knee injury, and I think they said a chest contusion before the last game. I'm not mistaken.
Contusion.
He played through it. He's going to play
well.
well.
That's a bruise on his chest.
Yeah, you got. Thank you for letting me know that there are some things that I don't know. Honestly, injuries I know pretty damn well. You can name something I can tell. I can look at your knee. You did that. You twisted. I can tell you exactly what took place just from hurting everything. But I don't know that the Celtics are rolling, and they seem to me to be the best team again all season long, and they're proving that in this playoffs. They don't care who gets the accolades, who gets the top billing. They just want to win a championship, and they're a team that a couple of years ago was in this position and lost, and they don't want to have that feeling again, and they're showing it.
So to switch sports over to hockey, a couple of things. You talk about a team that's rolling. Well, the Florida Panthers have been rolling through these playoffs by playing with a heavy forecheck, taking away the middle of the ice, strong defense, giving up minimal opportunities. That wasn't the case in Game 1. The Oilers came out firing.
Yeah.
Speed, got breakaways. But what happened is, all of a sudden, Sergei Bobrovsky introduced himself to the NHL and made save after save after save. So the Panthers, not on their A game, still shut out the Edmonton Oilers and got away with the victory. Tonight's going to be an interesting game, and because I'm not ready to write the Oilers off just yet. From what I saw in Game 1, it was a combination. Oilers came out fast and hungry. The Panthers were, they weren't great. But they still get the win. It's amazing how the great teams still do that.
Yeah.
And so tonight, the halfway point of this game tonight is going to tell me a lot, because I feel like the Panthers are going to come out tonight. They're going to readjust and be hungry, can be better on pucks. They're not going to give up the breakaways. They're going to shut things down. They're going to get pucks behind the Oilers' D. They're going to get back to doing what they do best. Now, can the Oilers counter that with that speed and that finesse and that those guys that just drive the offense? If they can't, the series is over.
See, I thought you were going to come in and say the exact opposite because of the way that the Oilers lost 3-0 in that first game. I thought, Panthers in 3, like you told us last week. They didn't even need to play the fourth game.
The Panthers only got 12 shots on net. That's crazy.
They made 3 of them.
I know, but but think about that. And the Oilers had, 30-some shots on net, so...
You don't think that they can keep that up? If eventually some pucks are going to find the back of the net, if the Oilers get that many opportunities.
Series against the Panthers, I said eventually the dam is going to break.
Yeah.
And it did. Now, Shesterkin still played
Bless you.
Thank you very much. He played very well. But still, the Panthers were too much for them.
Is there any concern about Matthew Tkachuk's ice time? I believe he logged just under 14 minutes in that first game. Is that something that we could see moving forward with the series, or is that just maybe has some bumps and bruises and they just want to kind of ease him into the series?
So if you're watching the game and you check out the ice times, all you have to do to figure out why Matthew Tkachuk only had 14 minutes of ice time is how much did Connor McDavid play? Because they're putting Sasha Barkov, his line, out there every single time. So the Panthers, the minutes are going to be elevated for that line. It's commensurate to McDavid playing as much as he did. And then, tonight, maybe there's a shift. I'm not sure. But when they get on the road and you don't have last change, things could change there to where you're going to have to depend on the Bennett-Tkachuk line to do a little more damage than what they've done. But the Panthers, realistically, they've got to get their power play going. Like, the Oilers are the best power play in the playoffs, and they managed to keep them scoreless. But the Panthers, on the flip side of that, they've got to score on the power play, because if they don't score on the power play, the Oilers' power play is going to score. It's just inevitable. And then you're going to be in a tight game, and you might lose one because of special teams. And I think that they've got to correct that.
Is that the only way the Oilers can win? We've talked about it before. Scotty Bowman says if you are, top 5 in both
top
PK,
10.
top 10 in both power play and penalty kill, which the Oilers, I believe, are number 1 in both. Is that the way that they win the Stanley Cup, is through special teams and not 5-on-5?
It is if Florida takes dumb penalties. Because 5-on-5, the Panthers just play a much better structured game than the Oilers do. And the Oilers are already kind of panicking here right now. Knobloch, the coach, is making a defensive change because Cody Ceci and Darnell Nurse are so terrible. They're on the ice for both even-strength goals against the Panthers. So Ceci's out of the game. Desharnais going in. He's a big body, but he's not a very fast player, and he's going to be paired up with Nurse. That could be a disaster. So that's the problem that the Oilers have, is they're just not deep enough defensively to continue to keep the pressure off from the Panthers throughout this series. But tonight, again, I'm telling you, halfway through the game, I think we'll understand if we have a series or if this thing's over.
I hope both these series go pretty long, because I think these are two series that have great teams, and I think fans want to see the best players go long, like in these series. And I think it's unfortunate right now that it doesn't really project that way. So maybe the Oilers can pick up a win tonight.
I was going to say that basically, I think just because the Oilers are only down 1 game, there's still hope. Like, they can win tonight, and that series can be, it could be anybody's series. The Celtics, it just feels like they are dominating the Mavs, and the Mavs don't have enough. Like, it's not like they're not trying. They're not giving great effort. It feels like they just don't have enough. Like, the Celtics feel like they are that much better, whereas in the Stanley Cup Final, I think those teams are more evenly matched than the NBA Finals are. Those two teams are it's not even close.
Certainly
in my
feels
opinion.
that way right now. And Hockey Bob chimes in here with a text. Hockey Bob, we always appreciate your participation. That's pretty much what this text is. It's just participation. Says, I totally disagree. The Panthers dominated every category except shots on goal. No, go back and look, Hockey Bob. Shots on goal, scoring chances, inner slot shots, and high danger opportunities. The Oilers dominated in every one of those categories. So, again, Bob, thank you for your participation. Appreciate you listening. All right, we come back here. We're going to dive back into the St. Louis Cardinals. And is St. Louis still baseball heaven? We'll find out. We get back here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and right now you can get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale. Right now through June 30th, getting quality, affordable windows. This is a really big deal. They've extended their sale, giving you 50% off of all windows, along with 0% interest for 5 full years. Plus, When you schedule an in-home estimate right now, you get a bonus 10% off. Are your windows old, ready to handle the summer heat? Maybe not. If they aren't, and if you're tired of paying the high utility bills for air conditioning this summer, your windows aren't efficient, that could be a big deal. You need to reach out to Window Nation, and during their Window Nation semi-annual sale, you can place those windows and save a big deal. Hurry, this month only, get 50% off of all windows plus 0% interest for 5 years. Just call 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com. A bonus savings, as I said, if you schedule that appointment today. Hurry up, schedule it. The sale ends June 30th, so schedule that fast. No obligation in-home estimate with the pros at Window Nation. Don't miss your chance to save. Call 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals split with the Rockies over the weekend. They'll take on the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow, 6:45 first pitch, as Miles Michaelis takes the mound going up against Paul Skeens. We'll talk more about your Cardinals coming up next. The Battlehawks, they unfortunately lost 25-15 to the San Antonio Brahmas in the XFL Conference Championship game. We talked a little bit about the Battlehawks earlier in the show. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We just got done talking about the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Final. Boston defeated Dallas last night 105-98. They now have a 2-0 series lead. And tonight, Game 2 between the Panthers and the Oilers. You can check that out right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6:30. Coming up next, is St. Louis no longer baseball heaven for MLB players? We'll dive into that next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
So The Athletic put together a piece about the most desirable places to play, all things being equal. Which team would you sign with if contracts, state taxes, and rosters were not a factor? Do you guys feel like your Cardinals did pretty well with this?
Hey, who BFIB?
Yeah.
People love to play here. You got the free zoo, the
birds
toast
on
and
the
grass,
bat.
birds on the bat for the Lou.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to play in the Lou, right? Busch Stadium.
Historic teams,
Championship,
Second to the New York Yankees, of course.
Who doesn't want to be here? What type of?
Apparently, most. No, there's only 86
Is
votes.
it because the zoo charges for parking now?
It might be, yeah.
What?
86 votes, that's it. So it's a small sample size. But 12.7% of those votes went to the Atlanta Braves. That's the most.
Play there.
9.3% went to the Boston Red Sox. Another, so a big market. Braves, obviously a very good team. Great team.
Big market, too.
Yeah, sure. Red Sox, big market. Dodgers, 8.1%. The Texas Rangers, 8.1%.
They
of
just
course,
won the championship.
Rangers won the championship.
That's why you
no state tax either.
That helps.
Well, so this is it's state taxes roster's not a factor actually.
Well,
Yeah,
that's dumb.
So when I said the Braves, great team, we're not talking about the rosters at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the New York Yankees, 6.9%. The Chicago Cubs, 6.9%. The San Diego Padres, 5.8%. The Phillies, 4.6%. The Arizona Diamondbacks, 3.4%. Arizona, beautiful.
It's hot
Beautiful
there,
city.
though. It's hot.
It's dry.
It's a dry heat.
hot.
Carey.
So damn hot.
So different. No, it isn't.
Scorpions.
No, it isn't. Scorpions are brutal there, too.
Los Angeles Angels, 3.4%. The Houston Astros, 3.4%.
Wait,
The
I haven't
Miami
heard St. Louis
Marlins,
yet.
I'm getting there. The Miami Marlins, 3.4%. The Cincinnati Reds, owner, don't care, 3.4%.
Cincinnati? Who the hell wants to be there?
Tampa Bay Rays, 2.3%. The Seattle Mariners, 2.3%. San Francisco Giants, 2.3%. The New York Mets, 2.3%. And, of course, the Minnesota Twins, 2.3%. The Athletic Survey of Active Players. Teams also mentioned the Baltimore Orioles, the Cleveland Guardians, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Washington Nationals, and, yes, your St. Louis Cardinals. They're in the also mentioned category.
Is that why Mo signs guys that want to be here?
I think we're finally realizing why that was criteria number one.
Because most guys don't want to be here, so Mo's like, hey, we found one! Sign him, quick!
Hurry up before he changes his mind.
Two? Bring them in. I don't care how old they are. Yeah, so baseball heaven, maybe not. I think that this also plays a huge factor into you better be drafting and developing well. You better be drafting and developing well. And that's been the case for a while now.
What changed? This
Yeah, no
felt
kidding.
like it was a desirable place. Where has the shift come from?
So let me play devil's advocate here. Did the Cardinals change? Did the Cardinals / St. Louis change? Or did the player change?
Meaning?
They don't care about the historical value anymore.
Yeah. Different. So bigger markets, different interests, want to get to the coast.
That doesn't matter to me. Like I feel like
Unless you're Atlanta.
25 years ago, maybe it mattered, market size, because now everything is you can reach anyone anywhere at any time.
But I mean, look at Giancarlo Stanton when he had an opportunity to go to.
He didn't want to play.
He didn't want to be here. He didn't want to be here. Now he also said no to the Giants, but he basically
We're
chose
just barely ahead of the Cardinals on that list.
right. And if you read anything about San Francisco and their ongoing homeless problem in the city,
great right now.
yeah. And then of course
Stay out of politics, please.
taxes and stuff. Oh, my bad. I thought it was just stating how a lot of homeless people there.
Makes me feel
Is it?
uncomfortable, Anthony.
Oh, okay.
Stop, please.
All right, I apologize to absolutely no one.
Don't worry about it. The government is doing.
Yeah. So
Not.
I wonder if the player was the one that really changed.
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think that I think that the player has changed. I think that I believe the Cardinals organization overall has lost some of its allure. I think that when you were in Whitey's era, Tony La Russa, like as much as those guys were curmudgeons sometimes to play for, players wanted to play for them because they knew that they had a chance to win. Mm-hmm. And I think that in the last decade or so, I don't know if players feel like St. Louis is a legitimate place to win anymore.
Why?
Well, I think because of the players. I think that the way that the organization kind of just that philosophy of just get in and you never know, like just happy to be that team that just limps into the wild card. I mean, I don't think they don't have problems getting the mid-level player because those guys are usually just happy to get a contract offer. But I think as far as the stars go, they want to be on a team that they feel are pushing the chips. Like, look at the Phillies and look at the Braves. Like, these guys those are popular places on that list, too, to be because you feel like every year your ownership and your management are wanting to win the championship.
Yeah, I think Nolan Arenado was one of those players that wanted to be here, like he's a baseball guy. But I wonder if some players are seeing that it's not working with a guy like that and Paul Goldschmidt. So what is really making me want to go there? It's not working. Like, those guys are some of the best players in the game, and for some reason they're just not finding success.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys would know better than we would about what's attractive to certain situations. I would have to imagine not obviously let's get the obvious out, the money, the contract, all that. But where else? Like, do you guys pay attention? Would you pay attention to whether or not a team was winning? Would you pay attention to the history? Would you pay attention to the players, like Marsh is suggesting, that may not have had success at a certain place? What goes into free agent status?
It would be where you are in your career. Like Jamie said, if you're a guy that is a mid-level guy and somebody's offering you money, I don't care if it's in Alaska, if it's a professional, okay, yeah, I play. Yeah. Like, but if you are if you have multiple suitors, and you are a guy that's going to try to attain top dollar, you're going to what is the clubhouse like? What is the city like? Is it where would I live? Where would my family? Where would my kids go to school? Like, all of those things will go into play. But then, who are the players on the team, and how are they? Are they good? Are they good guys? Are they guys that are going to work hard? Are we going to be able to put ourselves in a position to win a championship? And I think that at the end of the day, if you are one of those high-level players making money and have been making money and haven't won a championship, you want to go to a team that you feel is going to do what is required to win a championship. And I think if you're looking at the Cardinals from the outside looking in, and you're a player and you're saying, are they going to spend money to help us win a championship? LA will. Atlanta has done it the right way. They've signed their guys to contracts. They're all in trying to win a championship. Yeah. The Yankees will, because we've seen it in the past. I think those are the questions that you ask, and if the answer is no, they're not going to do it, then why would I go there to give the best years of my career to an organization that is not probably going to win a championship?
That's fair.
And the whole Wilson Contreras thing, I wonder if that put a sour taste in some players' mouths. Like,
how much
they just signed this guy and then they treated him the way they did last season. That, to me, I'm like, that's kind of a turnoff for me.
Would you guys know that, though? Like, be honest. Would you guys know that?
Everybody knew that.
Well,
everyone saw that.
Every other player, though?
Oh, yeah, they were talking about it on MLB Network.
Yeah, they were.
You're a free agent someplace else, though. Like, I'm not just talking about the media. I'm talking about all.
I think that was a conversation that was national, and everyone did see it. Like, the Cardinals tried to flip it like the media put it out, but everyone was talking about it because you all threw your prized offseason signing under the bus early into the season, and you had a terrible year.
So you're with the Steelers, right? Mm-hmm. And the Denver Broncos have a situation that's similar. You would know that?
I would know if it was how they were treating a player that they just signed.
And players talk.
Okay.
Everyone would know.
Players talk.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering because I don't know. I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't think
If
like
it was just in
there's
Denver,
some players that don't even
no.
watch football that are football players.
But guys talk. There's always discussions that happen. And anyways, for me, one of the biggest things that, I've had the opportunity a couple of times to pick places through free agency where I've had a couple of offers. It wasn't always like, oh God, I got a contract, take it.
Sure, yeah.
And the number one thing for me as a player was, did I hate playing against this team? If I hated playing against that team, I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Because that tells me they got guys that they're working hard, they're playing hard, they're tough, they're this, like. But if I was like, I didn't really hate playing against this team, I don't know if I want to be in an environment that I felt was kind of soft or that uncompetitive.
Very
and I don't know
comfortable.
if anybody looks at the Cardinals and hates playing against the Cardinals anymore. Like, you've lost the Chris Carpenter, that allure. You've lost like some of that gritty baseball. Yachty is gone. Like, I don't know if anybody feels uncomfortable anymore playing against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I don't know if that matters in baseball, but
I don't know. I think it's an interesting way to look at it. I really do. All right, Andre Pallante said something. You want Carey?
Well, I was gonna ask these two because they've gone to games this year. I don't know if you've been to a game.
I haven't gone to a Cardinals game yet.
Do you feel like the vibe is different at games than it has been in the past? Because for me, one is not nearly as sold out as I'm accustomed
No, it
to.
was
seeing.
It looked empty on. What was it, Saturday when you went?
Season low for when I was there.
It doesn't,
That
and then
looked-
people are
that looked
leaving.
empty.
Like, it doesn't look fun. Like, it doesn't seem like
The team's not fun.
It doesn't feel like how it has felt in years past, 5, 10, 15 years ago.
And one thing, too, is sitting in the crowd in years past, you're sitting there and people are expecting good things. They're
Yes.
expecting to
Yes.
win. We're expecting great baseball.
Yeah.
Sitting there on Saturday,
You don't know what
people are
you're
like,
gonna get.
I don't know. Hopefully he
Like
gets a
box of
hit.
chocolates.
Yeah.
I also wonder if there's not one player on the team that people can really gravitate towards. Like, I think Lars Nootbaar is a guy that is very charismatic and people want to be a fan of Lars Nootbaar, but he's never on the field.
Right.
Like, you have players that you don't have a Yachty, you don't have a Waino, you don't have an Albert Pujols. Like, you don't even have some of the, like a Skip Schumacher, like that people can really gravitate towards. I just wonder.
Yeah, like,
if
who's your
that's-
Cardinal?
Yeah, who's my guy? Me personally, I don't have one.
Yeah.
I think Mason Wynn is kind of the
Mason
guy
Wynn
right
could
now.
be
man.
that
He
guy.
was trending that way, and maybe he still is. But the
Yeah.
errors and stuff too. I mean, I still think it'd be Mason Wynn one.
You don't worry about it.
Oh, that's right. It's Carey.
his
Yeah,
agent
Carey. Yep.
over here.
Mhm. Everybody just keep your
Be
head.
patient.
Keep your head
Close
down.
your eyes and don't watch.
Yep.
good work.
Andre Pallante had some comments over the weekend that probably should have been taken encouragingly. You're like, oh, that's good, yeah. But we all saw him, heard him, read him, and we're like, whoa, wait, what? That's next on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking at car insurance or home insurance and you're trying to save some money and get the best coverage, then please give Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency a call today. One thing that I've learned about Tracy over the years is not only does she try her best and battle to get you the best rate available, she makes sure you have the proper coverage for whatever situation might arise. And it's not a if something happens, it's a when something happens. And if you had it happen before, you know how stressful it is trying to follow the right procedures and talk to somebody and walk your way through it. Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency are not a 1-800 number. You You don't just call up there and get somebody different every single time. You get somebody from the bib agency that can pull up your policy. They'll walk you through things, send you a copy of your card if you need it. And that's the kind of customer service that I'm looking for. And that's why I am with the bib agency. And you can be too. And all you have to do is give Tracy a call today for a free non-committal quote. That number is 314-328-4260. Again, 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
So we all read this quote from Andre Pallante or heard it, and we thought, well, you know what? I'll just read it.
Do you need help?
I'm trying. Now, let me sign it out. He
Good job.
Kyle Gibson, called me out, Pallante said. In my bullpen, I was throwing all of my pitches. Kind of not really had a plan with what I was working on. He's like, that's not how you improve. Work on what you're trying to work on. When you're working on something, you throw 15 to 20 pitches in your bullpen like that. All week, in preparation for a possible start, pitching coach Dusty Blake and Gibson stressed the importance to Pallante of getting ahead in the count by trusting the movement on the fastball. Pallante even repeated it Sunday afternoon. Trust your stuff, get ahead, get your first strike. That's a very positive 2 paragraphs, or at least it should be. Did you guys read/hear that and think, why the hell is Pallante in the big leagues without knowing how to properly throw a bullpen session?
A young player.
Yeah, so
Now, I'm not blaming Pallante. I'm asking, Why did the organization that he plays for at any point not say, hey, this is how we do this? Attention to detail. No?
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was the whole thing with Oli and the attention to
detail.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Am I wrong on this, guys?
No, you're not wrong. And look, there's no defending the organization on this. Here's what I'll say, and Carey, I'm sure you probably have similar stories. These guys who get to the majors, a lot of them have just been the best player at every level going up. So the coaches don't necessarily take the time or decide to coach them or teach them because what they're doing is good enough and they're playing really well. Now, that's fine when you're playing youth, little league baseball, and then even like if you play collegiate level, but after that, like the organization has to have standards.
Yeah.
And the standard has to be to where you see a guy, like, who's not watching him throw his bull? If Kyle Gibson is the one watching him throw his bullpen, where is the pitching coach? Not just here, but in Memphis, in all the places where Andre Pallante has had stops.
Thank you.
Like, you're supposed to be a bullpen coach. And if you are, or the pitching coach, and you're watching this guy throw, every pitch he's got in his arsenal, but he has the changeup that he sucks at. No, throw the changeup 40 times today because you need to get that thing going. So good on Kyle Gibson for being a great teammate and a leader and a veteran player. And that's why you have guys like that. That's why you did sign veteran players, is for that kind of leadership and guidance. But for the Cardinals, how is this slipped through the cracks? And then you think to yourself, like, no wonder some of the young pitchers have had problems pitching at the major league level or consistency issues. Think of all the young pitchers over the last 4 or 5 years that have had consistency issues. You got Dakota Hudson, you've got Jack Flaherty. Like you've had name your pitcher, young pitcher, and they've had consistency problems. I'm not saying it's directly attributed to not watching bullpen sessions, but you can't tell me it doesn't have a piece of the pie there.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't like the look of it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's good for, as you said, good for a teammate to be there to assist you and help you out. And I think as a young player, there are things you don't know, and it's on veteran players that help you. They show you, they guide you. Hey, don't do that. Do this. Let me show you how. I've been doing this for a long time. I can help you and assist you in that. I don't know what it speaks to in terms of not having it corrected or know or have the knowledge of it yet. But as I said, you could play in the NFL for 4 or 5 years and not get an understanding of some of the basic things until you get with a coach that understands it and is able to explain it to you. I never, as a running back, looked at the safeties because that wasn't my job. I looked at the linebackers until I got with a coach and said, hey, look at the damn safeties. That's going to tell you which linebacker's blitzing. Wait, what? How does that work? No, watch. They'll tell you the story. One of them going to come down. That means he's unlocking the linebacker. That guy's blitzing. Oh, my God. That was once you see it, you can't unsee it. But that was 4 years in. I had never been taught that. So sometimes you go places where you're not taught certain things, and you have to be around good, competent, knowledgeable coaches that can help you along the way and show you. And now that you're here, hopefully he got a teammate that can help him, and hopefully the pitching coaches, they're soaking up knowledge as well, because you don't know everything, especially if you're a younger pitching coach in your tenure. And this guy, Kyle Gibson, has been in the league 8, 9, 10 years. You should be listening to the players that are doing it, as well as implementing what you know also. So I don't have a problem with what he said. I had more of a problem with what else he said when he said, I didn't know I was starting until Saturday night. Oh, no. That's a problem. I thought that's what we were talking about.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. But real quick, Carey, when you coached high school, when you're preparing to coach your son in Pee Wee football, like it's coming up, you set, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
You set the standard, not just with your son, but with the team. Hell, I did it for kindergarten flag football. Like, this is how we're going to play, guys. So why is an organization not saying this is how we do it? It's attention to detail. How we do anything is how we do everything.
Correct.
Should be in the handbook. Like,
right.
Before the season starts, like, even no matter what team I played on, we had a systems book. And before we got into the systems, it had, like how we do things. Yeah. Like how we practice, how we do, like all of this stuff. And for the pitcher's handbook should be like, hey, when you're throwing a bullpen session,
this is how we do it.
This is how we do it. Or talk to your coach as you're like whatever it is that you're going to do. I'm not going to pretend to know the baseball handbook, but still.
If you want to check out the article, Derek Gould wrote that about Andre Pallante and the bullpen approach and all that at stltoday.com. We've got the Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, low testosterone is a normal thing that happens to all men. Well, you can be 20, 30, 40, 50. Doesn't matter. It happens eventually. But the problem is most of us don't know it's happening. And when it does happen, you'll notice that you're irritable. Maybe you've put on a few extra pounds. Your motivation's gone. You're just fatigued, all this stuff. And you just can't figure out why. That's why you go into Mentality. They do a full blood panel. You talk to their board certified representatives and you get your answers, and they create a specific program for you. And man, does it make a difference.
And Jamie, if you're driving around right now like, well, yeah, that stuff is happening, but I'm just busy. Okay. Jamie and I, incredibly busy. Jamie, especially so, with multiple businesses. Jamie has never been busier, but he's handling it all because, in part, with Mentality. You jump on their program, you start to feel great. I feel it the most on the weekends. Yesterday, in fact, we were redoing some of the stuff in the laundry room. I went all day. I'm good to go. Still, went outside, was playing with the kids and all that. I love feeling the way I do on the weekends. It wasn't always the case. And if you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, well, that kind of describes me, head down to Mentality. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you down there. Chesterfield and South County, 2 different locations. You can check them out at lowtusa.com if you want to start online. But trust us on this. The program, Mentality, it has worked wonders for Jamie and I. It will work for you, too. So give them a try. Again, lowtusa.com. It's Mentality.
Four warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
Time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 403. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Chucky to the program. What's up, Chuck?
Afternoon, guys.
We appreciate you listening. Is this your first time in the Gauntlet?
It is in the Gauntlet, but not my first time playing. I go all the way back to when DP and Dunk and Randy were on the show together.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent. All right. Well,
Seasoned veteran is what we've got here.
No doubt. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing today. Would you like to take on Marsh, Carey, Jamie, or me?
I got to take on Carey. I've never played against him.
All right. Here we go.
Carey.
Chucky versus Carey today.
Carey seems like he took it personally.
I feel like Carey's in a great mood today.
Just never met you, Carey, so let's play.
There you go. All right, so Carey moved into the cone of silence. So, Chucky, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Marshy, spin that wheel.
What are we hoping for, Chucky?
We're hoping not to get random.
Not to get random. I don't want to jinx it, so I won't say it. What do we got? Football. Oh, okay. All right, well, he didn't want random. Got football. I was supposed to say we haven't had random in a while.
You did this, Chuck.
You did this. All right, as Marsh digs out the launch codes, just a reminder that all 4 questions are worth 2 points unless Chucky or Carey ask for the options. If they ask for the options, those questions are worth 1 point. Thank you, Marsh. Chucky, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Question number 1. Which team finished with the best record in the NFL last season? Which team finished with the best record in the NFL last season?
Is that regular season only, or does that include the playoffs?
Just the regular season.
That's the regular season. All right. I'm going to go with the 49ers final answer.
All right, Chuck. Question 2 for you. New York Jets quarterback legend Zach Wilson will be playing on which team this upcoming season?
Oh, my gosh. What happened to that guy?
Exactly.
Hence the question.
I guess. Go Denver Broncos.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, thanks.
Question number 3. The New York Jets have not made the playoffs since 2010 when they lost in the AFC Championship to which team?
Gotta think New England would be in there. I'll take the options, please.
Your options are the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Indianapolis Colts, or the New England Patriots.
I was right about one. 2010. When did Peyton? I'll go Pittsburgh Steelers. Final answer.
And the last question, Chuck. The Jets' only Super Bowl win in franchise history was Super Bowl III when they defeated which team?
The Baltimore Colts.
Final answer?
Final answer. Yes.
All right. Okay, well, welcome back, Carey, from the Cone of Silence here. How you feeling, Chuck? Okay.
I thought, yeah, okay.
All right. All right, he's putting on his earbuds.
All right. I'm excited.
You ready to go, Carey?
Yeah. What we got?
Category today is football.
Is it
Football,
really?
yes.
It is.
Football is your category. Carey, I used to do the thing where I said, oh, it's hockey. And,
I've done that to you a few times.
You've done that to me a couple of times.
It's scary.
It's
annoying.
Well, I felt like when I started to do it, it started to get annoying. So I'm like, I'll just switch it up. So
Why?
yeah, I don't know.
You should change it up every now and then.
Every once in a while, throw a curveball.
Is this one of those times?
No, sir. Fastball. Fastball right down the
And
middle.
we're going to pack a lunch.
All right,
Okay.
here we go. Question number 1. Which team finished with the best record in the NFL last season?
It's common knowledge.
Is it common knowledge?
For
The
some.
best record. Oh my God, I'm gonna be here all day. Wasn't the Chiefs. I'm gonna know it as soon as I hear it, and that's frustrating. All right, yeah, that's ridiculous. Give me the options.
The Detroit Lions, the Kansas City Chiefs, or the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, the Chiefs had to go on the road to Baltimore. The Lions had to go on the road to Baltimore Ravens. Ravens were at home. Baltimore Ravens, final answer. My brain doesn't allow me to think of AFC North team is good. Sorry. Go ahead. Next question.
We good?
Question 2, please.
New York Jets quarterback legend Zach Wilson will be playing on which team this upcoming season?
Who the hell cares?
That's your somebody.
Where's Zach at? Options.
mother.
This is terrible.
His mother's friend.
Yes. Yes, probably.
It's not the Broncos.
Denver
That's the one I
Broncos,
thought first.
Seattle Seahawks, or Carolina Panthers?
Oh. Carolina. I haven't thought about Zach Wilson in 2 years.
Shame on you.
Shame. He wouldn't even- Denver Broncos, Carolina Panthers, or Seattle Seahawks?
Correct.
For some reason, I feel like it's Seattle, but that could be completely wrong. Seattle Seahawks, final answer. I Zach Wilson.
Question number 3. The New York Jets have not made the playoffs since 2010, when they lost in the AFC Championship to which team?
Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers. What? Playoffs in the season, or this is always this is every time. The 2010 playoffs or the 2010 season?
Well, it says the New York Jets have not made the playoffs since 2010 when they
The
lost.
Steelers went and played the Packers in the 2010 season. Pittsburgh Steelers, final answer. It's ridiculous.
We got there.
Final question. Carey Davis. The Jets' only Super Bowl win in franchise history was Super Bowl III when they defeated which team?
The Baltimore Colts, final answer.
Let's go over these. Shall we?
Jamie's face.
Just in general?
During the gauntlet.
Just in general, Carey?
Just during the
I don't
gauntlet.
like Jamie's face.
You know, we try to lift people up around here.
I'm sorry.
All right. The Jets' only Super Bowl win in franchise history was Super Bowl III when they defeated which team? Chuck, you said the Baltimore Colts. Carey, you said the Baltimore Colts. Correct answer is?
Well, in fact, it was the Baltimore Colts.
Neither of you needed the options on that one. Old Joe Namath.
Yeah.
Joe Willie.
Nice job. 2-2
Joe.
tie between Carey and Chuck. The New York Football Jets have not made the playoffs since 2010 when they lost to which team in the AFC Championship? Chuck, you said the Steelers. Carey, you said the Steelers, then went the roundabout, talked about how much you hated the certain years, the playoffs, the games, stuff like that. But you settled on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Correct answer is?
It is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But Carey did not need the options on that one, so Carey now has a 4-3 lead over Chuck. Which team finished with the best record in the NFL last season? Chuck, without the options, said the San Francisco 49ers. Carey, with the options. And, of course, we found out that the 49ers were not an option.
They weren't an option.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I said the 49ers in my head because I was like, Detroit went to 49ers. Yeah, okay, good. All right, I'm good. All
That's
right.
why I gave you the lead.
Good. I couldn't remember the options.
So Carey, with the options, said the Baltimore Ravens. Correct answer is?
It is, in fact, the Baltimore Ravens.
So Carey now with a 5-3 lead over our guy Chuck. New York Jets quarterback legend Zach Wilson will be playing on which team this upcoming season? Carey, you took the Seahawks. Chuck, you took the Broncos. Correct answer is?
It is the Broncos.
Yeah. And Chuck did not need the options for that one, so we have a...
We had to turn the volume up.
Walk it off.
There it is. We're going to walk it off. 5-5 tie between Chuck and Carey.
Chuck.
Yes, the Broncos are the team that quarterbacking legend Zach Wilson will be suiting up for. All right, Chuck, you're going to hold off on your answer, okay? Hold off on your answer. Carey's going to write down his answer, and when he shows us, then we're going to go to you. Honor policy here, okay? So we're going to trust you. It's going to be closest to the pin. Closest to the pin wins. Here we go. Here's your tie-breaking question. Again, Chuck, hold off. Carey, you're going to write your answer down. How many yards did Travis Kelce have receiving this past season? How many yards did Travis Kelce have receiving this past season? Carey is writing down
got an
his
answer. Wouldn't show the cameras. Don't show the cameras.
Carey has his answer. Chuck, what's yours?
950.
Okay.
Got a winner.
We do have a winner. Chuck.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Carey,
what was your answer?
989.
989. Chuck said 950, so you guys were in the neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
It's closest to the pin.
Yep.
Jamie, how many receiving yards did Travis Kelce have this season?
984.
Carey, damn close on that one. Sorry, Chuck, you got you today. Thanks for playing, though.
Good. Thank you, guys. Good job here.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck. Take care, bud.
All right, bye-bye.
Nice job, Carey.
Wow, CD. And he was quick on that.
Yeah, I knew it was 980 something.
How'd you know that? Just because?
Because I know he didn't get 1,000. This is the first year he didn't get 1,000. They were
what a bum.
Yeah, they were.
Seriously, distracted all year.
Totally distracted.
Worried about other things, right?
Yep.
Got to 980 something. I thought it was 89, but I knew it was something.
Nice job.
That's pretty impressive.
You started sluggish, but you finished strong.
Thank you.
It's important, Jamie.
That's how Carey does it.
No doubt. Okay. What does shop mode look like for the Cardinals at the deadline? What does shop mode look like?
Band.
That's next on 101 ESPN.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, back with you here, and we're joined once again by our good buddy, Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. And Stewie, you always have great updates for us on the Federal Reserve. What do we got going on today?
Well, on Wednesday and Thursday, the Federal Reserve is meeting, and the CPI, the inflation report's coming out. And that's going to be an indication of whether or not the Federal Reserve is going to cut rates, leave them the way they are, or maybe even raise them. The last report that came out, the jobs report, indicated that jobs are stronger, the economy is stronger than expected. That gives incentive for the Federal Reserve not to lower the interest rates, which caused a little bit of a bump in those rates. Now, if they come back and inflation's coming down closer to 2% target that they want, you may see interest rates drop. But if they're not, you may see a bump. So what do you got to do in your situation? If you're buying a home or you're refinancing, lock it now. If rates go down more than 0.5%, we can float it down anyway for you. So it's an opportunity to take a bird in the hand. It's better than two in the bush. Lock it now. Don't worry what's going to happen in the future. If it gets better, we got you covered.
But you do have to pick up the phone and either call or text our guy Stewie at 314-324-4440. Again, 314-324-4440. You can call him, text him day, night, doesn't matter. Stewie's up and he's ready to go, and he's ready to help save you a ton of money or at least give you a little information. You can also Google the bagel loan. Stewie, keep up the great work.
Have a good night, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Over the weekend, John Mozeliak said that the Cardinals are in shop mode as it pertains to deadline plans. In other words, he'd be shopping. They'll be shopping at the deadline.
What?
Yeah.
Shopping for what?
Well, players, I guess.
What?
Further, he mentioned getting some small wins, specifically finding someone to give the club some innings out of that fifth starter spot.
Small wins.
And a right-handed bat that could play center field from time to time. John Mozeliak says again, the Cardinals will be shopping at the deadline, specifically a fifth starter to eat innings and a right-handed center fielder to play sometimes. Sounds like a couple of backups to me.
Yeah, he literally told you what he's shopping for.
Yeah.
When he said small moves.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It means don't expect anything. And anybody who's, I don't know, mumbled or thought or even thought out loud of Luis Robert, forget that.
Nah.
That ain't happening because apparently the White Sox want to return like that they got for Juan Soto. The Nationals got for Juan Soto.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That ain't happening.
He's Luis Robert, very good player, not Juan Soto.
Right-handed
Few
bat,
are.
though.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
outfielder.
Sure.
Maybe not a center fielder, but...
Don't you have a couple of those guys
Well, you do have one.
injured?
What infielders are available that could play center field? I think that's what we have to
Mookie
be
Betts.
asking.
Mookie Betts?
Oh, I don't know if he's going to be available.
Yeah, everybody's got a price.
Everybody has a price. Jamie is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think what Mo is telling all of us is that he will find some haggard veteran to give him some innings.
That wants to be here. Don't
wants
forget that.
to be here, and he'll likely give up some outfielder that will become a permanent fixture for the other team.
And you know, Jamie, you spoke about attendance being the lowest it's been in a decade. This is why. There you go. Problem solved. Done. Answered, asked, and answered. No more questions need to be asked. Why is the attendance low? This is why. Who wants to see this? What excitement does that give you and your fan base?
Nothing.
It doesn't help.
No.
You're second to last in the division, half a game out of last. You just lost 2 of 4 to one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball.
Not the worst.
One of the worst.
The White Sox are worse.
But you lost 2 or 3 of those.
That's correct.
So,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
you know, you just a little bit better.
Yeah.
These are the things that are frustrating for Cardinal fans, and this is why they don't show up. Because as I said, I asked those two earlier, what brings you to the ballpark? It doesn't feel like it did years ago. It doesn't feel like a team. I'll never say they're not trying, because that's disrespectful to the players on the field.
Agreed.
Those men are working their butts off every single day to try to find a way to win games.
Their attention to detail is extraordinary.
Yes. That's what we've been told. It's just not working.
Yeah.
And so if it's not working, then you have to find different players to try to find the right fit, to find the right things that allow your team to be the best version of themselves. That's in the front office. So if the players on the field aren't performing or aren't having the success, you got to move some things around. But when you say, yeah, we're small pieces, we don't need anything major. You don't? No, nothing. The lack of sense of urgency is the problem, I think, for most Cardinal fans. No urgency, because people are tired of seeing this product and not having wins and not having a chance to win championships.
What you just said about the trying aspect, that reminded me of the movie Miracle, when Ralph Cox gets cut from the team and Herb goes, thanks for giving me your absolute best. It's like, still got cut from the team. Like, it's still not good enough.
But if that's your best, then that's your best.
Right.
If that's your best, if all I can give you is my 100%, but my 100% ain't good enough, somebody else's 100% a little bit better.
Or somebody else's 50% might be better.
Maybe. I don't know.
Depends on the player,
I hope not.
I think that's the problem with the Cardinals. I think they have good players, but they don't have a great team.
No, they have a very average team. I don't even know if they have great players.
Well, that's why I didn't say great players. I said good players.
Yeah.
They do have slightly above average good players. Yes.
I
think I covered it.
I wonder if their team, if you essentially got rid of the team itself and you just had the players, I think each individual player would work really well on a different team. But together as a collective, they're not good.
Right, yeah.
So if we drag this back into what we think the Cardinals will be shopping for, it's going to be another John Lester, Jay Happ for the rotation. It's going to be another, I don't even know, not Taylor Motter, but it's going to be that kind of player that you can plug him into the outfield, the right bat for certain situations. It's not going to be Luis Robert or anybody else like that.
So we all quote the scene a lot from Major League 2, where Dorn traded Parkman to the White Sox. And he looked at Lou Brown. He said, I didn't trade him outright. I did get you an outfielder. You used to play for the Giants. Means Franklin, not those Giants. That's how it's going to be. Oli and Mo are going to have the conversation, right? And Mo's going to say, I didn't just trade him outright. Got your pitcher. You used to pitch for the White Sox. And Ollie's going to go, Garrett Crochet? He goes, no. Eric Fetty. That's how it's going to be.
It is. It's literally like, because Mo told you, again, that's what's like, it drives me crazy. It's like, we're in some small, nothing big.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Why don't you just say, hey, we're looking to get a guy for the rotation. Don't know what it looks like yet. We will still know what it looks like.
He knows.
Somebody on here wrote John Brebbia coming back.
Doesn't want you to get your hopes up, which,
I think he's just being honest. I don't think he cares about our hopes. I think he's just flat. Mo
is a dream killer, is what you're saying.
I don't think he means to be.
426, Anthony Stalter called John Mozeliak a dream killer.
I don't
Write
think
it down.
he means to be.
Somebody mark it down.
You ever have that situation where you're like, man, maybe you're younger and you really like somebody, or you just want somebody to, hey man, I'd really like to be your friend, and you can tell they're just like, yeah man, you're all right. That's what Mo is. Mo's like, I'm just gonna tell you how it is, how I feel. I'm gonna get you a starter. It's gonna be
that starter.
He's gonna pitch about 5 innings for.
The problem is that whatever starter he gets is literally going to be somebody who could be competing with Liberatore and Pallante for that spot. Except they just have a longer resume.
Exactly.
You guys, come on.
What?
Show. Come on.
What's the problem?
Cardinals.
You think they're going after somebody?
No.
Exactly.
Thank you,
Come
Carey.
on,
I was about to say, if you're
I'm
not
trying
reaching
to
for
have-
those glasses, then...
I wasn't.
Okay. You started...
Luckily,
You reach for those glasses today.
no.
We may have to
they are
tackle you.
retired for a
Anthony
series
and
or
I
two.
may have to try and tackle you.
Yeah,
series
after
or
that
two.
split, you said, if they get swept... Or,
If they got swept, I'd have broke them.
Yeah. We don't
Hey,
want, we don't
those
want
cost
that.
me
I paid you $7.
Yeah.
I'd have cash apped
Good
you.
seven, that's just-
Venmo'd you $7.
Broken glasses.
Yes.
All right, here we hear from Janet. Here's Janet leaving us a mic drop.
Anthony, the Cardinals are flat and lacking personality because they're reflecting the same personality that the people in charge have. Have you ever seen Mozeliak? Well, you see the Cardinal team. They reflect his personality, kind of flat.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
I don't either.
I was waiting for it to use the kind of boring, but flat. Yeah. Janet, you're absolutely right.
618 says that Jake Woodford just elected free agency from the White Sox.
Oh, that's too bad. After he got lit up,
Go get him.
you should pitch for the White Sox.
And
us.
It costs you nothing. You don't have to trade a player for this guy.
No.
You know it's happening, and he probably wants to be here.
Well, so
I do not. I do not want to go through the Jake
what did
Woodford
you hold on? No. The
experience
hell with
again.
that. What did you text me on Friday? You sit there and you be a man and you watch it. You sit here and be a man, Anthony, and you deal with this. You don't turn your
face
head.
your fears.
Don't close your eyes.
Yeah.
Don't turn it off.
You're right.
Watch it.
You're right. Carey was texting us from the game, and it was the Little League inside the park
Grand
home run.
Slam. It was a Grand Slam.
It wasn't even a home
Can
run. It was
you
a Grand Slam.
I was like, do I have to watch this?
And
They came back and won the game. But at that point,
I did text you, and I said, you sit there and you watch it with your son and his friends, and they don't look away.
They're not even allowed to go to the bathroom.
No. They're
you all watch this.
You watch this.
I gotta watch it. You gotta
This
watch
is
it.
life right in front of you. You watch it. All right, we got the Sports Six Pack coming up next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service tax line. So if you have a question, send it there. Six Pack next.
Hey, BT here for Diamonds Direct. If you have heard me talking about Diamonds Direct, I hope by now that you have gone in, you've checked it out, because if you have, you'll never go to another jewelry store again. If you haven't checked it out, now would be the time, because I cannot believe what Diamonds Direct has got going on this month. For the first time ever, when you purchase a natural diamond engagement ring, you get a free natural tennis bracelet. That is crazy. So if you're ready to pop the question, no better time than now, right? Get the perfect ring, and then you get a gorgeous wedding gift this June from Diamonds Direct. And a tennis bracelet, that's like tops on most jewelry wish lists, right? It's a timeless, it's a perfect everyday wear, or she can layer it up for more wow. Over at Diamonds Direct, they have the experts. They're going to help you out. They're going to make sure you get the best diamond for your budget, best for your style. And through the end of the month, they're also taking all the guesswork out of your next gifting occasion with that bracelet. Check them out. Go to diamondsdirect.com and get into the showroom at Olive and 270 at City Place. It's Diamonds Direct.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. We just got done talking about the Cardinals. They split with the Rockies over the weekend. They have today off, but they'll take on the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow. 6:45 first pitch as Miles Michaelis will go up against Paul Skeens. The Battlehawks lost yesterday 25-15 against the San Antonio Brahmas. Unfortunately, the Battlehawks will not play for the UFL Championship this upcoming Sunday. It will be the Brahmas taking on the Birmingham Stallions. Game 2 of the NBA Finals goes to the Boston Celtics as they defeated the Mavericks 105-98. They now lead that series 2-0. And Game 2 of the NHL Stanley Cup Final is tonight between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. You can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6:30. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so if you have a question you want to ask us, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, you heard the big voice there. Sports Six-Pack time, 314-399-9646. If you have a question for us, great, send it there. That's our Air Comfort Service text line. You can also join the Snake Pit, our 101 ESPN YouTube channel, brought to you by the Air Alliance team. Marsh, what do you got for us?
Question number 1.
From the 618, Jamie, did the Washington Capitals screw over the fans and the rest of the NHL with their purchase of Cap Friendly?
Yeah, this is a really, interesting purchase. So the Washington Capitals, Ted Leonsis, the owner of the Capitals, they purchased Cap Friendly, which is by far the biggest tool used by anybody in the hockey world, media world, casual fan. Like, you can pull up, we do it all the time. We pull up guys' salaries, no trade, anything that goes with their contract is right there. We see what teams are up against salary cap. And I mean, I know personally that NHL front offices and scouts and people, like, for quick reference, they use it quickly right away. Like, of course, they have the database on their computers and that they can find out all the information with their capologists. But sometimes you need the info quick in real time, and Cap Friendly is what they use. So the Washington Capitals purchasing Cap Friendly and then saying it's going to go dark. Like, they're just going to shut the company down.
Wow.
Like, I don't understand it. If they think they're getting an advantage over the other NHL teams, well, they're really not. They'll just go back to their own database and do it that way. What they're doing is they're screwing over all the fans because people love to. The NHL salary cap is difficult to keep track of. And when there's transactions and retained salary and all this stuff, and, like, if a player makes $10 million one year and $2 million the next year, what's their AAV? Like, this is stuff that helps inform your fan base. So I just don't understand the move. I said, this is what I wrote on Twitter this morning, I'm like, I don't really understand the move. And then the second part of it was, as a business guy, I would just charge a flat fee, like $10 a month to use Cap Friendly to whoever. The amount of users that you have, it's just easy revenue.
Yeah.
For a rich guy like Leonsis, it's just an easy way to make more money.
Pocket, yeah.
And I don't know, they're going to shut it down. And I just don't understand the strategy of it. And I just don't believe that it's to have an advantage over other teams because they have the information at their fingertips. Just it's not as easy.
Yeah.
Puckpedia will be probably the website that people go to now. So if there's anyone out there that is obsessed with looking at the cap of the NHL, Puckpedia, I believe, will be that place to go.
Yeah, like there'll always be another person. Like another website, another app, like somebody else is going to look at that and go, oh, okay, well, I can do that. And maybe Ted Leonsis will buy my company or some other rich dude. Like, somebody will always create it. So I just don't understand the power move on this one.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
We got a question from Tanisha from the Snake Pit. Would you rather be the star of a bad team or an average player on an elite team?
Oh, man.
Well, how long is that team going to be elite?
You asking me? I've already been an average player on an elite team. Give me the damn star, baby.
Likewise. Yeah. I sure wouldn't mind getting the paycheck as a star. Right?
Yeah, of course.
And I just work harder to create a better team.
We're working hard to be better.
Yeah, that's
every day. What do you guys? We're trying. We're working our hardest. We got guys in here giving their all. We're doing the best job we can do. Gonna go hang out on my yacht after we get done. Wow.
Yeah, but what about the 5-game losing streak?
Don't worry about it.
We're working hard
We're
here.
working hard.
When I'm out on the ocean here in a couple hours, I won't remember it.
Yeah. We're good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I think I would. I care about winning more than anything. So let's go with the average player on the winning team.
Yeah, Carey's right. I've done that.
I've been there, done that.
I can handle being the star for a little bit.
I don't blame you.
Question number 3.
From the 314, any sport, what franchise would you want to own and why? Keeping revenue out of the question. Keep up the good work, Al.
Any sport.
Any sports. What team you said?
What franchise?
What franchise would you want to own?
I hate to say it.
Dallas Cowboys.
I hate to say it. Oh,
I mean, he's got that thing modeled perfectly.
Well, revenue out of the equation.
Revenue
without the revenue
out of the equation.
Are we talking? What are we talking? Market, championships, players?
I guess that's up to us to decipher.
For me, it's easy. I'll try to fix the Falcons.
Oh, God.
What do you mean, oh, God? I couldn't do any worse.
Well, if money is no object, it would be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There you go.
Hey, the history.
Where's this?
The legacy.
Just still.
Sometimes.
Who do you have?
Boring.
Yeah.
Who do you have?
It's boring.
Who do you have? Let me hear this.
New York Yankees, baby. Are you kidding me?
Why?
Well, because it's an international brand and it's New York City, and
we're not making money.
I didn't say that. I said it's a big
brand.
city. The brand is great.
The brand is financial.
No, the brand is
the name.
The
Just
name
the
of the
Yankee
Yankees.
hat.
What do you do for a living? I own the Yankees. Just got a little swag to it, you know?
I don't.
Yeah.
I own the Falcons.
And we won our first ever championship. I was the one. Let's just keep talking like this.
Anthony already brought a championship to the Falcons.
He did.
I did, yeah, kindergarten.
Yeah,
kindergarten
that's
flag
right.
football. Yep.
30 points a game, right?
You're going to repeat now.
If not more, Carey.
Yeah.
If not more. But
35.
who's counting?
Yeah,
You know?
stop counting after a while.
A couple of backs go over 1,000. I mean, you know.
Whoa.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
Sometimes
6 games, right?
8.
8.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yard per
Thank
carry.
you. Yep.
Sometimes the ownership just falls in your lap. Like your grandfather passes away.
Oh, yeah.
And you all of a sudden own the team as a teenager.
It has happened.
I saw a documentary once where this child owned the Minnesota Twins
Right.
and then made himself the manager.
Well,
You
you
do
are
whatever
the
you want
owner.
when you're the owner.
That's true.
Absolutely. Yeah. He exercised a loophole. He was passionate. He's like, you know what? I'm tired of this.
We're gonna win.
We're gonna win now.
Some way.
Yeah. All right. Let's continue our Sports Six Pack next on 101 ESPN.
Falcons. For over 80 years, the Londoff family has been making transportation dreams come true in the St. Louis area. And whether you visit the dealership in person or you go to Londoff.com, at Londoff Chevrolet, they treat you like family. I know this because I have been a customer for over 25 years, and now my kids are customers of Londoff Chevrolet. And yes, we feel like we're part of the Londoff family. They also have tremendous pricing over there. You're looking for a 2024 Silverado 1500 RST. Suggested retail price is $60,180. Nope. Londoff price $46,180. You save $14,000. Maybe something a little smaller. How about an Equinox? 2024 Equinox LT. Suggested retail price $33,785. The Londoff price $28,995. You save almost $5,000 right there as well. And don't forget that all the vehicles over at Londoff Chevrolet come with a lifetime warranty, and the pre-owned vehicles also, some of them qualify as well. So please get to one of the two locations, the original in Florissant, the new Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peters. Drop in, tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. If you can't get there in person, get there online. Again, visit them at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Yeah. Somebody asked, did Carey get his shirt from Synergy Hockey?
I appreciate it.
Carey got one today. We had a couple of them sewn together for Big Shoulders Carey over here.
That was real nice.
Yep.
Real nice of you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Oh, you're welcome. I
appreciate it.
You're welcome. Didn't want you to be left out.
Felt like the odd man out of it.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
You're just bigger than all of us.
Very true. Let's continue our Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 4.
From the 636, if you could play in any era of sports, what sport would it be and why?
Any era. Ooh. Any sport in the 80s.
Jamie loves the 80s.
Are you kidding me? Have you any documentary that you watch, you go back in the 80s.
It's a time.
Yeah,
it was a time to be alive, Anthony.
Right.
I think for me, like 70s football, NFL. Like I think that would be 70s or probably 70s. It just felt different. Yeah.
When the equipment wasn't great enough and the salaries weren't high?
But it was man.
Especially man football.
Would you play football? Or would we pick a better sport that we don't get so beat up?
Well, I don't know anything else, Jamie. I'm kind of...
This is make-believe. We're allowed to just do whatever the hell we want here.
Okay. Well, I mean, hell, I would be playing in the NBA right now, making $300 million. What the hell are we talking about?
There you go.
I would be left-handed.
Baseball.
I would be a left-handed pitcher right now.
Yeah.
At the top of my game.
I'd be an average right-handed center fielder and play for the Cardinals.
Yes.
You would be playing right now.
You did it.
You'd be starting.
Yeah, baby.
Or
You
coming off
did
the
it,
bench as
man.
the
Nice job.
4th or 5th outfielder. Proud of you.
It's a good gig if you can get it.
Proud of you.
Proud of you.
Do you think today's era of sports is the easiest it's ever been? Or do you think it's the toughest it's ever been?
it's
Because
tougher.
I think of hockey. And I think of even when you played, you're getting hacked and whacked, and now that's
Even
not
the
really.
90s was a war.
Right.
I think it's much easier now. Well, I won't say it's easier in terms of the physicality.
It's weird.
But they're more skilled now than in the past, which it makes it easier, but it's harder to get in, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird dynamic.
I would agree because you've got the scale now where everybody's so physically fit and fast and talented, but the physicality is dropped in those contact sports. And so, like for hockey, guys are flying around out there, but it's not like if you had the mentality and the rules of the 90s with players like this, there would be like carnage.
Bloodshed.
It's awesome.
I feel like it would be cool to drink a beer, smoke a dart, and then step into the on deck circle. I feel like that'd be a good era to play baseball.
There you go, smoke a dart.
While you've got to chew in.
Oh, yeah.
Just doubling down.
High as a kite.
Question number 5.
From the 618, are the Blues prospects good enough where they can focus on position of need rather than the best player available? We need defense and skilled toughness.
You mean like for the draft coming up? I'm assuming that's what they were talking about. The Blues now have a really good group of young players and players that are entering maybe the NHL with Snuggerud, not next year, but maybe the year after. Dvorsky, Bolduc, Dean. Like, they've done a really good job there. Defensemen, they were heavy on the D last year.
Of course, yeah.
At the draft, which is always a good way to go about it.
Yep.
I think they'll do the same again this year. I think that they look at this defensive core and they'd like to have it to be where it was in 2017, 2018, 2019, even 2020 for that matter, where you've got the big defensemen, good puck movers, elite guys. So I would imagine the Blues be looking for defensemen especially at the top of the draft.
Question number 6.
From the 314, are we overvaluing Brendan Donovan and Lars Nootbaar? To me, the Cardinals need to look at improving one of those players to take the next step with the lineup.
Are we overvaluing who? Donovan
and Nootbaar.
I think
those players. In a.
The question, when you talk about overvaluing, how many other teams would they be starters on?
All of them. I'm sorry, not all of them. I meant more. I meant more than half of them. My bad.
He did.
I meant more than half of them.
Cranking around like, what the hell did you just say?
It's my fault. Yeah, more than half of them.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Lars Nootbaar is overvalued, personally.
Is it because of the injuries?
Yeah, because of the injuries and because of his popularity, he's got some okay numbers. Like when he's actually playing, he's got some okay numbers, but I feel like he's overvalued a little bit here in St. Louis. Just because of the way he's carried himself and whatnot, and the injuries have impeded him, and he's had some cold stretches.
Yeah.
Like, I think Brendan Donovan, I don't know if you can overvalue that guy who can play literally almost any position on the diamond for you.
Sure.
Heck, he was even going to be the backup catcher one time last year when there was an injury.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can overvalue a guy that has that much
a ton of value. Yeah, that's
but
a
I
good
think
call.
Lars Nootbaar, you talk about some people in the offseason are like, I wouldn't trade Nootbaar. Really?
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't trade him for a crap player.
Right.
But if I could upgrade the rotation, get a 2 or a 3 pitcher.
Oh, you do it in a heartbeat. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. You find some drunk GM who's willing to give you a 2nd and 3, and
he's not in Colorado anymore.
Oh, my bad. Well, you send a really nice bottle of something, right?
Yes.
Maybe the Ace of Spades. So you take one. I'm sure Donovan has some, and you send it ahead of time to a GM. He gets all toasted up. Then you make the call.
But would Donovan be trying to have himself traded?
No, I'm just saying you go down to the clubhouse and you find a nice bottle that Donovan has purchased. That way you're saving money and you're making good trades.
Do you think we're having these conversations now because the two guys that you're relying on the most are not producing, and so we're looking at other players like, why are you not producing?
Marsh, that is the thought I had. Like, are we overvaluing them, or overvaluing them, I should say, because the two guys that are making the most money aren't pulling the weight? Because if those two guys were, I don't know, Freddie Freeman and Jose Ramirez, to stick with the first base, third base theme, the lineup's set.
Yeah, they're very good complementary pieces.
It goes from, why is Newt always hurt, to, hey, it's okay, we can overcome Newt being hurt because we're good. We got these guys. Wait until Nootbaar comes back from the injured list. That's how it would go. Is that it? Did we get it? Could we get all the way
We
through?
got through 6.
I think we did.
6.
That's 6.
Good
Holy
job.
smokes.
I
Nice
mean,
job,
it took
guys.
us 2 segments.
We got through 6. Nice job. 3 reasons as to why the Cardinals have stalled after a hot streak. We'll get to that next on 101 ESPN.
Father's Day right around the corner, and if you are looking for something easy yet incredibly special that truly shows your dad how much he means to you, I have a great gift for you. It's a gift certificate from Sound Story. Sound Story is a professionally produced hour-long conversation which your dad is interviewed by your choice of hosts, whether it's Randy Carricker, Anthony Stalter, or Tim McKernan. And it's a great opportunity to really dive into the stories that your father has, from growing up to college to first job, first love, maybe even telling a story about your birth. These are unbelievable moments that now will be captured forever with digital recording and now video as well. That's the new option over at Sound Story. You get the video and the audio. And right now, Sound Story is offering 10% off of that gift certificate. All you have to do is use the promo code ESPN. So just go to mysoundstory.com, enter promo code ESPN to get this Father's Day special of 10% off a gift certificate for Sound Story. Again, that's promo code ESPN at mysoundstory.com. Sound Story, for you, for them, forever.
Check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Well, Ben Fred of STLtoday.com, Ben Fredrickson, put together an article for the website talking about the 3 reasons as to why the Cardinals have stalled after a hot stretch. Before we tell you what Ben Fred said, we got a text to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646 giving us their 3 reasons.
And those 3 reasons would be talent, coaching, and talent.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. So, guys, do you agree with those 3?
They got talent. And they have coaching. All right, your silence says a lot.
Okay.
Your silence is so loud. Gentlemen? No? You disagree?
Maybe they need more of those things. You know? It's not necessarily they don't have it. It's just they need more of it.
Okay. One could see that.
Yeah, Anthony.
It's one way to look at it.
Hey, Jamie, I'm trying.
It's there.
Well, Carey, why don't you expand
He threw it out there. I mean,
on your thoughts?
Well, on the texters' comments or my own? You want my own or you want me to respond?
No, yours. I always want yours.
Okay. Well, what do I think the 3 things that are causing them to struggle? Terrible fielding is one. We can start there.
What do you mean by that?
I mean the amount of errors, the inability to throw from one base to another, the inability to throw from home to second, those things, the inability to throw from second to first, or pitchers bouncing balls to the plate. I think all of those things in fielding, we can just generalize it in that, just not good fielding.
We're talking about the St. Louis Cardinals, the Cardinals in Anthony's T-ball.
No. St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh,
yeah.
That team's well coached.
That team has less errors.
Yeah, they certainly do. Yeah.
So
now they also get to less balls, but
there you go. If you're not errors. They're not errors.
That's true.
Yeah, they're just not good fielding. We can start. That's numero uno.
Okay.
Number 2.
Yeah.
You know, when guys get to second and third after those productive outs that we like to talk about, you have to drive it's a small thing. It's going to blow your mind, right?
Yeah.
They only count when they come and touch the plate at home. So you got to get those guys from second and third to that place at home where the batters are.
Really?
Yeah. The more you do, Anthony, pay attention.
Yeah.
The more you do that, the more runs you score and the more opportunities you have to win games.
Huh.
Yeah.
Which a hell of a concept. Not gonna lie.
I like it.
It's simple, but it's complex at the same time.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It's one of those nuanced things that you have to work through.
So you're saying you don't get points by just moving a runner over?
No, not to get to second and third. You got to move them home. You come home and touch the plate.
Why do they call it a productive out if you don't get a point?
You're
supposed to get out.
No, you're
but
supposed
have it
to
done productively.
No, you're supposed to get home and touch the plate. That helps.
All
and
right.
then lastly, my opinion, if your pitchers were able consistently to go more than 4 2/3, 5 1/3, to relieve some of your bullpen issues that may be on the horizon, I would say those 3 things would be my top 3 things for this team. Fielding, I can say fielding 3 times actually. Fielding, hitting with runners in scoring position, and give me a little bit more from my starting pitchers. I don't know if that's what Mr. Ben Fred said, but...
Well, this is what he said.
All right, tell us.
Unreliable outfields.
And infields.
Well, when your infielders playing your outfield, I think it kind of...
Okay. Two for one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well said.
All right.
Still one starter short.
Pitching.
I would say, isn't it?
Carey, 2 for 2.
Key players have stalled.
Stalled, that's polite.
You thinking a different word?
S word.
ST word?
Maybe.
I'm with Jamie on this one. Yeah. So there you have it. So those are the Ben Fred reasons.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
Can I go even more general on this?
Please do.
I think, guys, that they have stalled because this is who they are. This goes into what we've talked about a lot recently. They're an average team. They hit a hot stretch. Now they're in a cold stretch. At some point, they'll hit
Which would
another
make
hot.
you average.
Exactly.
Evens it out.
Exactly. I mean, that's just
too high or too low.
That's the general. We would explain if the Dodgers hit a bit of a bump in the road, or the Braves hit a bump in the road. We would say it differently. We would say, just a bad stretch. Cardinals, they go through good stretches. They go through bad stretches. Their bad stretches last a little longer than their good stretches. Thus, they're average to slightly below. It's science.
That's how the baseball works.
That's right.
Thank you,
Schulte.
How are you doing over there, Schulte?
Not great. According to the fan base, not great. But no, Benfred, Carey, I think you're right in all three of your reasons. I think Benfred is right with all his three. Yeah. Unreliable outfield.
Is there
Check.
a wrong answer?
I don't think so, really.
Not.
If you want to throw the manager sniping at the media, being more ticked off with the media or a media member.
I don't care about that.
Yeah,
He's
know.
frustrated. And you should be. Again,
well, when you stink, you should be frustrated.
there you go. Like, if your guys aren't performing and you have prepared ad nauseum, like, you're just going over this stuff over and over and over again. It almost gets to the point where, as a coach, like, why the hell do I have all these papers?
Whoa, wait.
Why do I do this? Why do I have this? Why do we do this?
You don't have to wear protective headgear here.
Well,
You might. I mean, that's the level. Jamie, you've coached. You have literally told a player, do this.
Yeah.
And they did something else and something bad happened.
Yeah.
And you wanted to pull your hair out of your head. And when you ask said player, why didn't you do what I asked you to do? They never have an answer. The answer is, did you not hear me?
Sorry.
No, I heard you.
I've heard that one before. Sorry, coach. Don't sorry me.
That's on me, coach. That's on me.
I know it's on you. I know. I watched it. We talked about it. We said, prepare for this. That, to me, that's the most frustrating.
We had the conversation together.
You were there, right?
You were there.
I'm pretty sure.
I saw you looking.
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with his frustration. I like it. I love it. And then I was thinking about I want some more of it. I was thinking about this
Predators
as well.
fan.
Anthony, we were talking about probably, right?
Probably.
Are they about to win a championship at some point? Yeah, he will be, wouldn't they? Soon as they come around the corner.
He'll have his Smashville T-shirt on then.
What the hell? Smashing his head into the table.
Oh, okay, now see that? What they were saying, that was fun. Now what you said was just hurtful.
I'm sorry.
I wonder,
physically.
I thought about this earlier as well. I wonder if Oli has gone a complete 180. So last year he ripped Tyler O'Neill, and then he got ripped for it. Like we the media, the fans, you can't talk about your players like that. I didn't, but some people did. And now he's very accommodating.
It's like he's overcompensating.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that situation played into how he is now protecting his players.
But that's dangerous.
You can't be happy. You can't make people happy whichever way you go.
No.
Yeah.
You got to be yourself.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Does that enable players?
Well, I'll leave it up to the athletes here. Does that enable players? I wouldn't think so.
Here's what it is.
If you have pride, if you have pride in yourself and your work,
that just because Oli is saying that to Derek Gould in the media doesn't mean he's not ripping your ass in the locker room or in his office. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the only thing that really matters is what happens with your personal interactions with the coach. And if the coach just lets it slide, doesn't say anything, doesn't correct you, doesn't coach you, and then defends you in the media, then some guys might look at that as an endorsement. But most coaches usually take care of their business behind closed doors, and you should know if you're playing well or you're not playing well based upon your interactions with the coach.
That would make sense. That would make sense. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Boy, the Battlehawks, unfortunately, they lose last night. As we were talking about before, we kind of broke down the game, and we'll get into those thoughts again. But what does this mean for the UFL Championship that the Battlehawks aren't in it? Every single one of you had that cringed look on your face there. Not great. We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
Well, the Mavs have dug themselves a bit of a hole here against the Celtics in the NBA Finals. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes in Game 3. But what else is interesting is FanDuel is offering new customers right now $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet, Carey.
Yeah, Jamie, that's $200 to use on same game parlays, live bets, and so much more. There's no better place to bet all the finals action than America's #1 sportsbook. You talked about the Dallas Mavericks being down 0-2, heading back to Dallas. Maybe they can figure some things out as they go into Game 3.
Yeah, if you're a Dallas fan, you're hoping because this looks bad. But for the local product, Jason Tatum, it looks very good. Yeah. You can bet all of the action at FanDuel, the same game parlays, the live betting. It's all available, but you got to get signed up. Just go to FanDuel.com/fast. Again, FanDuel.com/fast to get started and take your shot at an extra $200 with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager. Only $5 first deposit required. Bonus dish, just not withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. Our Battlehawks fell last night. Frustrating game overall. Carey, I do agree with you. You had shared earlier. When they recovered that fumble for a touchdown, I wasn't in the building like you were, but you could feel it watching it from home, too. The energy had shifted. It looked like that the Battlehawks were going to come back and overcome a really bad performance, and yet they just couldn't get it done. I mean, they had plenty of opportunities. They were down by 7.
The Brahmas gave them every chance possible to win that game.
We would have the whole thing today would have been, the storyline today would have been, they overcame perhaps one of their worst performance, and they made it to the championship.
Yeah.
So they got some things to clean up, but instead they couldn't get it done.
It was disappointing for me watching it. I was hyped up, had everybody over last night, Sunday dinner. It was a lot of fun, had on the TV, and then the huge interception to stop that one drive in the end zone.
Yep.
I was like, yes. And then the double reverse flea flicker, pick my nose. I don't know what the hell you call that play. Gives the ball right back to them.
Yeah.
It's not the oop-de-oop. I know that.
It wasn't the oop-de-oop.
No.
It happens.
Which is the most disappointing
the
thing
oop-de-oop
to
would
come
have
out of
required
this.
them to pass the ball.
At least use the oop-de-oop, you know?
I wanted to see Anthony Stalter call a play next Sunday.
I thought that was the play he called.
No, I wouldn't have called that play. There's no way.
I think just watching that game, again, it was the Battlehawks had plenty of opportunities, but just defensively not getting enough stops. The big plays by the Brahmas is what really cost the Battlehawks. They were, you had a 69-yard reception. That was the play where the receiver ran a slant route and the safety just didn't make a play on the ball or on the receiver. You had the long run for a touchdown, 69-yard rush for a touchdown. The explosive plays by San Antonio is essentially what cost St. Louis to lose that game. It was they had their opportunities. The touchdown that Hakeem Butler scored, or that I thought he scored, that was called a non-touchdown, that's a bit troubling. But at the end of the day, you had an opportunity. You had an opportunity in the fourth quarter to kick a field goal where you missed it, which you would have been. Once San Antonio did go down and score, you still would have been within 7.
Mm-hmm.
So that final drive would have helped you even more to have a chance to score, to tie the game or win the game. Just too many missed opportunities, drop balls, poor tackling, not getting to the ball carrier, and just not the football that we have seen from them. And again, my thing, if there was one thing that I would nitpick, I feel like they ran the ball on first down probably 80% of the time, which as a defense, stop the run on first down. What do you have to do on second down? You got to pass. You're becoming very predictable. Wasn't a lot of play action passing. Wasn't a lot of shots taken downfield offensively. Those were the things that probably bothered me the most. But at the end of the day, as a player, you got to play. And they didn't make tackles. The San Antonio ran the damn ball right at them. And that's why they lost that game.
Yeah, I look at it, and the players didn't execute. But I also look at maybe the scheme overall from the coaching staff. I just don't know if it was the greatest scheme or greatest game plan. I just don't know. I mean, it felt very cautious to me.
Well, too, I mean, how many times do you get into a situation where when you're second and short, right? Second and short, take your shot downfield. Play action. Play action. You get the defense scooting up a little bit. You got man-to-man somewhere on the damn field. You've got the best skill position players in the league. Take your shot. At worst, you're 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. Interception. Okay, you took your shot. Mm-hmm. Get your defense back on the field. It's not like you got bad field position. So I think some of the inexperienced nature of like Bruce Gretkowski, who did a remarkable job all season here with this offense. He was the offense coordinator for the Battlehawks. I thought Wade Phillips kind of took him to school last night, unfortunately. He'll be better for it, but overall not great. But Jamie, I know you had a lot of thoughts on just the UFL not having the Battlehawks in there either for Sunday.
This is their biggest nightmare. It is. I think the league purposely picked St. Louis because they thought the Battlehawks were going to have a team that could get there. It is by far the best fan base in the entire league. Mm-hmm. The attendance eclipses anything even close to them for the second best in the UFL.
Right.
And now they have a championship game in a 70,000-seat dome without the most popular team in the final.
That's correct.
The home team.
Yeah.
I just don't know where ticket sales are going to go. I know a lot of people who had tickets for the final that are like just not going now.
Yeah. That's
like I said last night in our text, I said like $4,000 is my prediction. Ooh. And that's going to look like 500.
Wow.
It's going to look like 500 people because we swallowed up. I know St. Louis shows out, and we're awesome sports fans, and we're this, we're that. It's Father's Day, for one thing, and second of all, no Battlehawks in the final. Like, what is truly your inspiration to go to that game.
Right.
And what cheer for who? You don't care about either team.
Yeah.
Because the Battlehawks fans are so passionate. Like, will they go and just cheer against the Brahmas out of spite? I don't see the passion. I don't see that kind of passion to just root for another team.
I agree. I don't think so. Yeah, it is. It's unfortunate. I mean, everything was set up perfectly, not only for the Battlehawks, but also for the league. The UFL had it set up. If you have the Battlehawks in, first of all, it's Battlehawks and Stallions, which wound up being a really good regular season game in Birmingham. So it's a rematch of a game that was already exciting. You got the best city for the UFL based on attendance, based on TV, everything. Two of the better teams. No offense to San Antonio or Michigan, who wound up having a good year, but you would have two really great teams, the best environment, all of that set up, and the Battlehawks just didn't get it done. And now, if you're Anthony Becht, who we all love, Coach, he's now got to figure out why 2 years in a row his team slogged down the stretch. They did this last year. They overcame porous run defense. They overcame some offensive line issues and had a really good stretch to start the year. And then they faded down the stretch, and that's why they did not make the playoffs a year ago. Lo and behold, same thing now.
Yeah, I just think that, like I said, there were plenty of opportunities, and it's frustrating because you talk about, you already brought up guys that have been reached out to by NFL teams. I think Saylor and Butler. Like, you're not going to have the same team next year, hopefully. Like, hopefully those guys get signed onto a roster and they can continue their professional career. So it just changes things. For me, it just felt like the explosive plays killed this team. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have to happen. Like, you didn't have to be out of place. This slant route for a touchdown for 70 yards, it can't happen, man. You can't have two defenders right there and not make a play on the ball, and he splits you and goes and scores.
Yeah.
Like, that can't happen. You can't have a running back rush for a 69-yard touchdown right up the heart of your defense and nobody really lays a finger on them. Yeah. Those things happened yesterday, and you were unable to win the game. Just it's part of the game, man. It's frustrating. I'm sure there are plenty of plays that they'll look at and wish they could have back, because it didn't have to be that way. They should have been in that game the entire game with an opportunity to win it at the end.
I blame the announcers for the broadcasters' jinx right before that field goal, the missed field goal, which would have made it a 7-point game with the two field goals sort of, canceling each other out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it went wide right, and that's the game.
And we know why.
Just say it. Broadcasters' jinx.
And we know why. Yeah.
I wasn't listening. I couldn't hear it. So, I don't know.
We all know you went to the game with Torrey Holtz. We get it. You're a big deal.
No, I didn't go with him. He was there.
He went with you.
Thank you, Marsh.
Me either.
He showed up wanting to go to the game with you, and that's what happened. We get it.
I thought it was a little fun that Torrey was wearing a Davis jersey.
Yeah, I thought it was adorable, quite frankly. Yeah.
You guys are super buddies.
You guys.
Super buddies. Super Bowl buddies. Yeah?
That's right.
Yeah.
The elite club.
That's right. All righty. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Biggest question of the day. And it might center on our guy, Wilson Contreras. That's next on 101 ESPN. Well, if you're anything like our house, we need new doors. We need new interior doors. We need a new front door. We're excited to work with Mosby Building Arts, and you should too, because when you call in right now, either right now or before June 30th, book your first appointment. You can be a part of their Doors Now, Pay Later program. 5% off or no payments for 1 year on exterior, interior, or if you need a new garage door. if you go with Mosby Building Arts, again, 5% off or no payments for 1 full year on new doors. And I just mentioned the garage door. If you've got a home that sits, right out in front there, and the garage doors faced the street, you can upgrade the entire look and feel of your home with a new garage door. They can be customized to match the style of the home and, complement its exterior design. And they've got customization options for Mosby Building Arts to style the different panel designs and the window inserts. You could do some decorative stuff with the new garage door. Mosby Building Arts, they're fantastic. The team is great. Everybody's in-house. They'll wait until all your products are there, all your materials are there in-house before they get started. That way, you're not dealing with all kinds of delays and things like that. But seriously, call Mosby Building Arts to take advantage of their doors now, pay later promotion that they have going on through the month of June. 314-909-1800. Call Mosby.com. It's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals split with the Rockies over the weekend. They have today off, but they'll take on the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow. 6:45 first pitch as Miles Michaelis will take the mound going up against Paul Skeens. We just got done talking about the Battlehawks as they lost in the XFL Conference Championship game to the San Antonio Brahmas by a final score of 25-15. If you missed that conversation or any conversation that we had today, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Last night, Game 2 of the NBA Finals, the Boston Celtics defeated the Dallas Mavericks 105-98. The Celtics now have a 2-0 series lead. And Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final is tonight between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. You can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6:30. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and here is Andrew Marsh with the biggest question of the day.
All right, guys, so it looks like Wilson Contreras could be back sooner than expected. And I know, Anthony, you teased the question, or you teased that this question could be about Wilson Contreras, and it is, but I want to add another layer to this. What does this stretch without Wilson Contreras tell us about Ivan Herrera moving forward?
He can hit.
Yeah, he can't throw.
Yeah.
It's not great. A single turns into a double.
Very quickly.
With anybody who has average to above average speed.
Yeah.
Which may answer the question why the Cardinals went to get Wilson Contreras last year.
It could.
Because everyone was saying Ivan Herrera was
wasn't
next.
ready.
Well, no, they said he was the heir apparent to Yachty, remember?
But they also thought that he wasn't ready.
Then they were
right, yeah.
And I think, it's
how do you change that? Like
more reps.
But is it, though? You don't think he's thrown the ball enough over the years at this point in his life to be able to throw it to second base with more power?
Well,
maybe it's something that you either have or you don't.
Well, he shouldn't be playing catcher then, should he?
Well, no, I'm not disagreeing.
Like if it's been that way the entire time, you can hit. You don't think somebody said along the way, you know what, fella? I know you like this catcher position. It might not be the spot for you.
Yeah.
Man, put you at first base.
Maybe he's the outfielder.
Maybe.
Wow.
Come on.
It doesn't have a good enough arm.
No. I mean, look, I agree with Carey that Ivan Herrera can hit.
Yeah.
He can hit. So if you can hit, you can play DH. You could continue to grow at the catcher position.
Maybe
but
he's the heir apparent to first base next year.
Maybe. But you got a lot of them.
What I think not having Wilson Contreras has taught me or showed me is that this team, without your highest paid players, your best three players, Wilson, Goldie, Arenado, if they don't play or if they're hurt, you're not going to be a good team. And to bring it back to the question earlier about your 3, 4, and 5 hitters not producing, you're not going to be a good team.
Yeah.
Just bottom line. If your best players don't perform, you're relying on Lars or Donovan or
what?
Dylan Carlson got his first 3 RBIs of the season in one game. Good.
What does it look like, though? The Cardinals, as much as it's frustrating for us, the Cardinals have managed to paddle enough here to stay above the water, and they're still in a playoff spot. What does it say when Contreras comes back? How much is that going to help? I mean, that's assuming he goes back to playing.
Yeah, I mean, right. We're assuming that he at least resembles what he was before that offensively. It's huge. We know the guy can hit. There's really no debate about that. He hit last year. He was hitting before he got hurt. He improved defensively.
And he can throw the damn ball.
And he can throw the ball. I mean, he's a veteran. So I think it's going to be significant, that he comes back. It might take him a little while to get back up to speed, but no, it's huge. And what does that say, too, about all of what happened last year, too? Sorry to revisit that, but
no, you're right.
Wilson Contreras comes back, and I would imagine it's going to be a breath of fresh air. Dude's a competitor as well. Not to say that Ivan Herrera isn't, but this team last year lacked that grit to get back into the game, or into the season, I should say. Mason Wynn plays with energy. Wilson Contreras plays with fire. I think Alec Burleson has showed some fire too, and has played with some energy. They need more of those type of players, especially when the two highest paid guys are really like steady Eddie. We are just
robotic almost.
Yeah, robotic,
especially. And Arenado's
very tunnel vision.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this isn't a criticism. It's just if those two guys are very tunnel vision, where it's like we're just focusing on our game, and of course we'll be there for our teammates, and we're good teammates, but that's it. Then adding Wilson Contreras back in the mix is going to be absolutely significant. Yeah, huge.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, honestly, because I like watching him play, for one thing. I'm just wondering, like, it's no longer a sample size, guys. The Goldie and Arenado, I mean, it's not working this year. And I don't know how you correct it or how you change it. Like, everything I hear is they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. Like, those guys are pros and those guys are all-stars, and they got to figure it out. I don't know if they're able to figure it out.
You guys know better than anybody. You are who you are as a player. There can be some evolution to your game, but who you are from a personality standpoint is who you are. This is why when people say, I wish Mo said this and he said it this way and he doesn't talk, that's him. That's his personality. I'm not saying there shouldn't be an aspect of like, man, that's annoying. But he can't change that. He can't change how he speaks to you, how he speaks to the media. That's how he speaks to you. So if Nolan Arenado is got the tunnel vision and he's just baseball, I'm worried about myself. I'm trying to get this right. If I get myself right, then the team will be right. If that's who he is, that's it. That's all you can do.
Yeah, but he's not getting himself right. That's my biggest concern is those two aren't finding ways.
Yeah, you got to trade him to the White Sox. You get Crochet.
Well, the problem is that he has a no-trade clause, so you're not going to be able to send him to a crap team.
Well, he played for a crap team, and he played for it pretty well.
That's why he probably won't go back to a crap team.
I tried.
I'm sure Buster Only could tweet out that he got traded.
Wow.
Now, why would you do that to old Buster Bust?
What?
He's having a tough day today, Marsh, and you know that.
Well, our very own Jeremy Rutherford apparently got hacked, too.
Oh, no, did he?
He just got back onto Twitter X today.
Oh, boy.
And was like, hey, I got hacked about a week ago. I'm back now. Buster Only, we're assuming he was hacked based off of some of the crazy things we've seen tweeted out here in the last little bit.
Apparently, Shohei Ohtani, lifetime ban.
Yeah.
According to the hacker of Buster Only.
And according to Francisco Lindor, headed to the A's.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I'm sure he wants to go there. I also saw that the Baltimore Orioles are actually being relocated and the A's are staying in Oakland.
Oh, man.
Congratulations. This is a huge day for Oakland. They get Lindor and they get to stay.
I don't think that works.
No.
I don't think that's how that works.
No? Okay.
I believe that Buster Olney has wiped away all of the tweets. I think he got his account
back.
them
all? Okay, good.
I'm on the account right now, but that does not mean that the screenshots will not live on.
Yes.
I'm sure he's real happy about that. All right, we've got Bet the Board 3 stars of the day. Criticisms, compliments next on 101 ESPN.
Listen up, St. Louis. If you are currently looking for new windows, maybe it's just an upgrade or you're remodeling, or maybe you're tired of those old windows that are beaten up and they're leaking air or water or just not efficient, then call my friends over at Window World, preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. Window World windows are one of the 2 windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Why is that? Well, that's because they use a double-strength glass that you just don't see ordinarily in replacement windows. And what does that mean? Well, it means a more durable window. It also means a more efficient window. So when it's really hot outside, you don't feel it in the house. When it's really cold outside, you don't feel it in the house. And what you do is you notice more money in your wallet because of a great window. And not only do they give you a great window, they offer you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts of glass breakage and the labor. And right now, offering 36 months same as cash financing with approved credit. And all you have to do is pick up the phone and call them. Tell them Jamie Rivers from 101 sent you in there. That number is 314-993-1800. 314-993-1800. Or visit windowworldstlouis.com.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to bet the board here on 101 ESPN. Marsh, why don't you read off those standings, kid?
Jamie is 5-0, and he is in first place. Wow. Anthony, 3-2 for second place. Carey is 1-3-1 as the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, boy.
They lost by 7. Carey had them at +7, so he gets a push on that one.
Sorry about that, buddy.
And I picked up my first bet the board victory of June. I am 1-4.
Nice job, Marsh. Really, really nice
You
job.
take a loss. Matters.
Yeah, no, it totally matters.
Helps.
Yep. All right, Jamie.
Man, what you got now?
Pressure? What? What's your
Wow.
What you got now? Huh?
Hey,
No
Gorman.
Cardinals game.
I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm taking the Panthers over the Oilers. They're minus 128. So I'm going with the Panthers.
I wish you had Gorman.
Go with the Oilers. You can fade me.
There's a choice.
Give me the Orioles, who are minus 142.
Really?
Corbin Burns on the hill in Tampa tonight. I'll take them, please.
I was definitely going there.
It's the domino effect.
Why?
He didn't have Gorman
would you
to
do
get a
that?
hit, so he went Panthers. I would have went Panthers. Shoot. It's the domino effect, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're gonna threw that into my game plan.
I'm sorry.
I guess I gotta go. I don't like it. Give me the Yankees minus 118.
Let's go Yankees.
Kansas City Royals.
Let's go Yankees.
Did you see that yesterday? The whole stadium was chanting, "We want Soto," and then Trent Grisham hit a nuke. And then everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, we'll take you. Trent Grisham, you're the best." Damn Yankee fans.
Yeah, they're the best around.
I'm going to go with Evan Bouchard over 2.5 shots on goal.
Okay,
look at
Evan
you.
Bouchard.
I think he had 4 the other night.
Well,
So
that's all he do is pass him the puck in the power play, and he just shoots it.
fine by
You
him.
know,
All
that's
he
a
has to
dumb
do,
play.
Jamie.
What?
That's all he has to do.
That's easy game.
It's an easy game when you play that
Easy
way.
game.
Should
man.
I get 2 tonight now that I said that?
All right, what do we got for criticisms and compliments?
Not a criticism, not a compliment, but a request. Probably from Cardinal Bird Hat guy, 573. Talk about the Mizzou football program, please.
Let's not.
Okay.
And say we did.
No, I
Carey,
think
your thoughts.
What's the next question?
I like
Next compliment?
I like talking Mizzou football.
Can we wait till football season to talk Mizzou football?
Wow, there's a lot to talk about right now.
What
Carey.
is there to talk about?
There's no football going on.
That stuff.
No, there's always football.
We'll have
going
3
on.
NFL segments tomorrow.
Oh,
That's the NFL. It's its
the
own
national
entity.
league.
Yeah. We can talk about. Can we talk about Illinois football?
No.
No.
God. I want to talk about that.
You know
No,
what?
Carey.
I'm
And
leaving.
you,
I
and you
appreciate
know
all.
why we can't
I
do
appreciate everything you all do.
that. So let's
It's time
not
for me to
do
go.
that. All right.
It's been fun.
Come on.
Carey, you can talk about it.
Yes,
Just
sir.
somewhere else.
You guys are terrible. You know when I'll talk about it Wednesday night at Busch Stadium for Illini night. I'll talk all the football I want.
There you
Okay.
go.
All
Then
right.
let me know when it's Tiger night, huh?
Well,
Won't be there. The hell?
You got a kid that went there.
Carey, as long as your checks keeps clearing.
Jeez.
They don't care.
No.
We got a compliment from Swan. Great show today, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Swan.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
Very kind.
Appreciate you.
We have a compliment from the Snake Pit, DJ Smushy Poops.
Smushy poops.
Randy Marsh is the greatest South Park character, in my opinion.
Randy is the best. I agree.
I dressed up as Randy Marsh for Halloween one year.
Did you?
Actually won a costume contest.
Yeah, you did.
Dude,
Nice.
you do the costumes.
He
huh?
does like, Marshy takes pride in it.
Oh, I love
Nice
my
work.
costumes. I already
You
have
do.
my Halloween
Oh, this
costumes
is-
picked out for this year.
Do you?
What are you going to do, or is it a surprise?
I'll give you one of them because I usually try and do multiple ones, but I think
Overachiever.
I'm going to go with the megastar with everybody saying, "Ow,
night. Yeah.
He's not popular enough to do that.
Oh, come on. I always do niche costumes anyways. Like one year I dressed up as the fella from... Shorzy. I dressed up as Shorzy. I dressed up as Shorzy from Shorzy.
Fella from Fella, the commercial.
Carey explained it.
Sorry, guys. Couldn't help myself.
Marsh, I'm sure it's a great costume. Don't listen to these guys. You know, they just...
I am dressing up as the fella from Pella. Yeah, yes. My costume.
I mean, come on, guys. He's spilling his heart out to you. And all you can do is just joke. Like a bunch of jokesters.
We actually, it's a big congrats to our guy Marshy.
Oh, what happened?
1 year anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
I saw the lovely things that your girlfriend said on Instagram. You're a lucky man.
Well, thank you.
I didn't see any of those. What'd she say?
Just really nice things about Andrew, our guy.
Okay.
Our teammate.
She mentioned us?
No.
It wasn't.
I think she
about
wrote.
us.
Oh, you said nice things.
She wrote something about how great he is
in everything he does.
Working with three savages.
Oh, yeah.
That would make sense.
We got to be better.
Yeah.
We should be better.
Do we?
Yeah, maybe.
Had a great evening on Saturday with her. So
Nice.
Did you guys go out to eat?
Can you share?
Yeah, well, let's see. We started our day off at Half and Half down in Clayton.
Okay. Half calf, all right.
No, not the name of it. Great spot.
All right.
Ended our night at 360 rooftop.
Oh, that's a great spot.
That's a great spot. When the weather's nice,
Yeah.
ooh, baby.
That's where Kristen and I and the wedding party wound up after our wedding.
Yeah, nice.
Was 360.
After your wedding?
Yeah, 360. We stumbled up there.
It's a great spot.
I don't remember much.
Oh!
Yeah.
It's fine. There's video,
They
I'm
told
sure,
you
somewhere.
They told you about it.
They did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They did. Yep. All right. They can't remember either, but go ahead.
Make it up.
Let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Third star goes to a guy who got his Twitter hacked, and that's Buster Olney.
Buster. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Buster.
Second star of the day goes to Rams legend and a friend of Carey Davis. That goes to Tony Holt.
I would flip that, but yes, that's a good one. Yeah.
And our first star of the day goes to the children with these two that had to endure Cardinals baseball this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Good call on that.
You turn your head, you watch.
Yeah. But you know what? They were better off for it. They were. They were better off for it. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yep. Hey, we got Stanley Cup Final Game 2 pregame at 6:30. We do have a short instant replay. And don't forget, too, we got the Panthers and Oilers Game 2 action coming up a little bit later on. See ya.